Welcome back, everybody, to the RSC stream. Today we have Challenger Play in Actions. I am Tino. With me today is Zach.
Hello, Tivo. First time casting with you, actually. Looking forward to it. Also looking forward to this play-ins that we've got today. The Challenger play-ins. We just had the RSC casts right before this desk here, who went through some of their predictions. Are you looking forward to today?
Yeah, and almost definitely we got three interesting games here. Right now we have Braves Ember versus Team Serene Seiko in the lower round one. The winner of this match will move on to go against Fujiyoshi of Unitox, who will be our next game. And in the upper bracket action, we have DSQ's Cannons versus Nexus Pulse. And it's going to be an interesting schedule today.
Ember Psycho. From what I can gather, a lot of people don't expect these guys to really make it too far. Fujiyoshi being an absolute beast waiting for them in the next round. And yeah, I mean, we can see there the team stats from the league play. And these guys relatively equal in terms of standings. These guys are kind of middle ground. Nothing really too much to speak of in terms of that. But yeah, I kind of agree with the consensus that they'll be pretty even regardless. But in terms of what they've got coming up, it doesn't seem like we can expect too much from them. But I'm excited to see the clash of these two guys anyway. What do you make of these guys?
Yeah, no, I see two rosters here that are very high in skill. If we check the individual stats here, as we see with Braves Ember, it's looking at Spacey and Lathan to be our two marquee men here, with 70 saves coming in from Spacey, which is a very impressive stat line. Going to the side of Serena, it looks like TC, with all 40 games being played, he was the man that could not leave the roster. And we're not going to talk about his saves, but we also have D Smiles as well with good stats.
Yeah, I'm liking the participation on Braves side, like really high. Like that's those stats speak to me as a team that really do incorporate each other into each play. So maybe seeing some teamwork if we're speaking to the stats. But what I do know also is that stats really sometimes just don't mean anything, and it all falls apart as soon as you go onto the field. And I think that's what these guys are going to be facing, because they're starting lower bracket in the play-ins. So these guys have got their backs against the walls with it all to play for, pretty much. So yeah, we'll just kind of see. We've got the stats in front of us. We can talk about them all we want, but no. No, producer transition as I was talking about stats, but yeah, these guys. We'll just have to see what they do on the pitch. I'm looking forward to it. And I think that we should be getting into things pretty soon. We are a little bit delayed, but that's just because of the setup from RSC Cast. Predictions. That is right. We do need to go through those. I've got no idea. I'm just going to go 4-2 to Ember. What about you?
I'm going to predict the contrary. I'm going to go 4-3 to Team Serene here. I think we see
Game
7.
7.
Yeah, I think we see 7 starting off the bat.
Keeping his ear on with the Game 7s. Although I was saying before that Game 7 seem to be quite common in playoffs, RSC playoffs, no matter what division.
Yeah, no, I think we're done here talking here. I think it's time to get to the games. We start off here at Manfield Night. Two teams here ready to make their playoff march. As we get into game number 1, we get the players ready, and we get underway. We've got Brave Esports coming in on the blue side, Team Serene on the orange, and I can't wait to start this series.
Yes, indeed. These two teams, it's now or never basically for this game. A league play story already played out, and now it is the finale of the season with the play-ins. Overlay appears to be broken. I just been informed, but we still have our Rocket League in front of us, which is what we're all here for. And a bit of a slow start, 30 seconds, not too much to speak of. TC's going to be going up for that one. And the interception comes in from Spacey, is trying to push it into the corner, try and create an opportunity for attack. It does bounce off the backboard, but the counter attack is on. TC's pushing forward. And both teams seem to be challenging one another's offense pretty nicely.
Yeah, both teams really pushing each other really into the game here. Spacey's going to try to force it into the corner, but it's going to get cleared off by TC. Pressure now coming in from Ember here as the drop down pass is attempted. Leighton with the shot, but it's too low. Counter-attacking our possibilities is a wide open there, but it's a great bomb coming in from the deadly Dom here as Blue Look will try to take control, but Dom takes the full boost. TC now is going to try to force it into the middle, but he doesn't. It's going to go to the corners right to Spacey. With that Fennec, he's going to clear it off, but he gets demoed here. TC's going to try to force plus some more pressure here, but Spacey's going to get a booming clear off to the backboard, which D-Smart should have the read here, but it drops down here. Perfect for a good shot coming in from Ember as the save comes in from Blue Luke here. TC now, full control, passes it to D-Smiles, but D-Smiles is looking for a demolition. Miscommunication coming in from the side of Team Serene here. It's a back and forth game here, but Team Serene seem to be building more pressure. As a good save from Leighton here. The follow-up's unsuccessful, and Blue Luke's going to get it cleared off to the side. It's a back and forth game coming in from both sides.
Blue Look being the absolute bastion of defense for Team Serene right there. Basically stood still on the goal line, blocks one, and then manages to not just save, but also clear it away, save the team from conceding. And I feel like a few opportunities have come amiss from both sides. So who's going to be that first person to connect? D-Smiles manages to save that one away from going in, and Spacey putting pressure on them, putting these shots on, but the counterattack's coming in. Leighton's going to be back in time, gets a nice touch, and that's going to create some space to clear it away. Once again, we're back into the corner. No boost, gets the flick over, and a nice 50 going in the way of Ember right there. But yeah, no noise being made as we hit the halfway mark. Oh, that could have been an opportunity, but we make the rotation in time.
Yeah, no end-to-end here game here as we go into the halftime completely goalless here as Leighton's going to try and get into the middle for Deadly Dom, who's going to get that first touch but can't get the double tap here. TC now's going to clear it off to the side as Leighton's now going to take control. Now it's battling in the midfield here. Spacey's going to take the first touch and get it clear, but TC's just going to have that touch straight away. D-Smiles is going to chain dash off the wall here, but Leighton's going to have control. Spacey now is going to get it sent it to the corner. D-Smiles is going to try and get some control here, and it's just going to get cleared down straight into the middle. Blue Look is going to catch this ball and get a 50-50 here with Leighton, but Leighton's won the 50, but TC has control, and it's going to go straight to Space, who's going to get it to the right side. Leighton now to the middle, but there's no one there for Brave, as Team Serena now going to try to build some pressure. TC gets that first touch straight into the middle. Is anyone going to go up? No. Space is going to get control. He's going to try and go for this double tap, but he misses the second touch here as Blue Look can get it clear. D-Smiles now is going to try to force it into the corner, but Leighton's going to get some control. Flips over past one, and now TC's going to get control because there's a lack of boost coming in from the Serene side. TC now is going to try to force it into the middle. He gets it off the backboard. Drop down pass here for Blue Luke, but he misses the shot here. No follow-up here as D-Smiles going to take control. Leighton now is going to try to get the 50, and Team Serene try building some pressure, but Brave just keep holding their lines.
Yeah, no, it feels like either of these teams could score at the breath of a hair. Right now, there's a lot of confidence coming out the side of Ember in the air, on the ball. If I was to give you an idea of who might score first, it might be them. Team Serene right now just struggling to get out their own half. The challenges are coming through. Look at all these interceptions. D-Smiles actually beats past that one. But again, it's caught by Spacey. A lot of possession being given over by Team Serene. The mid pass is someone there, and it's the attempted clear is actually just going to miss. And we're faking. We're faking on an open net. I don't know.
Yeah, Spacey gets a good shot there. Blue Luke can't get the clearance here to get it out, and Brave start the scoring here with 40 seconds left going into game number 1 in this best of 7 series here as it goes back into the center circle with Brave control of the game 1 and the series so far. TC now is going to get a flick. He's going to try to force it to the corner. Spacey needs to get that save, and there can be a follow coming in from pressure. It goes into the middle for Blue Luke, but Leighton's going to get that 50. 30 seconds left now. The time is ticking here as Sam tries getting control here. He's going to get a shot off, but TC's going to get it cleared. He's going to try and get this double tap off the side wall. It's going forward here, but it's not going to be on target as Leighton's going to get control here. Final 15 seconds loom here as D-Smart's going to try and get this touch, but Brave have full control as Blue Luke's going to try and get it to the corner. 10 seconds left. The countdown's calling us. Deadly Dom's going to try and force it into the middle. He does, but there's no one there, and Blue Luke has to get something going from 0 seconds. He drops it down to the floor, but the ball's still up in the air. Is there going to be a 0-second chance? TC can go for the shot. Here's the back door. Blue Luke is going to get it to the side. It's still going to bounce up, and it's still going to keep going. Leighton's going to get a goal. Can it be a final shot here? No. It drops to the floor, and Ember take game 1.
Yeah, as that game progressed, Ember just taking complete control. Spacey's ability to put the ball into threatening positions and the team's follow up as well. Just really nice showing from them. Serene looking a bit all over the place, a bit nervous. A lot of saves and shots. They had a lot of impact as far as stats go, but it didn't really seem like they had too much going for them this game.
Yeah, no, it didn't seem so here. As we see now, it's a brilliant start coming in from Ember here. He was able to build pressure, was able to build some chances, and was able to build attacking possibilities here. And Seiko did get something going. There was something going there, but they couldn't really execute the chances there. And it just is going to go to Seiko here. We have some technical issues here, and it's just going to be a little bit of conversations here on how can Team Serene fix up their play going into game number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I think offense was struggling to form for Serene. They definitely had good defense. They had a lot of defense like pressure. I mean, to stop Ember from scoring until so late onto the match, given how they were playing. But when it came to the counter attacks, when it came to those clears, just boom across field, not really giving it away. Just giving it away, giving it back to Ember for them to just reform, regroup, and that's as far as it went for Serene. Really, like they've shown themselves on defense. I'd like to see some offense form and as get some goals in because so far how it's looking, Ember seem to be running away with it in terms of what they're doing on the field.
Yeah, Ember seems to be running away with it, but Team Serene now have their time to try fix this up here. As we go into Forbidden Temple, it's going straight back into the center circle. 5 minutes to make your mark and tie up this series as we begin once again. As Leighton's going to win this kickoff, and it's going to go right to TC, who's going to try and get some control. Gets one touch into the middle. Can there be somebody there? But no. And it's just going to be an end-to-end game to start things off here. As Braver now going to take control here. It's going to get forced into the middle. Unfortunately, it couldn't be. It's going to try and get to the corner. TC now. It's going to get control of this ball. There's 50-50 from Leighton and TC here, and Spacey's going to get control here. And now Team Serena are going to try and build some pressure as they need to get this game back to tie up the series.
Yes, they do. To get you to that game 7 that you've predicted, Demo going to remove TC from the field as Spacey booms into the corner. It's cleared away into Smiles and wins a 50. Nice. The ball's just hanging there though. Multiple players jumping for it, and Blue looks the one that comes through. It's popped midfield by TC after a scuffle in the corner, and an actual tap towards the net. So again, the ball seems to be a lot of space in the midfield being given. Blue Luke is going to go off the backboard, and Leighton makes an amazing save, denying Serene a goal in the series. It's a pass to the midfield. It's off the crossbar though. Any follow-up from the middle? There isn't, and we're back to square one. Once again, a slow start to the series, Tino, and waiting for Serene to make their first move.
Yeah, no, in this close and defensive game here coming from both sides, we need somebody to make their opening move in game number 2. Serene needs to do it to tie up the series. They don't want to give up a 2-0 lead. Blue Luke now is going to try to build some pressure here, and the ball's going to Team Serene's side here, but they're lacking a boost. Deadly Dom now is going to get it to Leighton, who's going to get a redirect off the backboard. Can he get a double tap? No, but Deadly Dom has the shot, and it's brilliant offense coming in from him to lead the game. Game number 2, it's 1-0.
Redirect there, and he was there for the catch too if Dom wasn't there to see it through. So having a backup plan, even the follow-up after that one. But beautiful setup there coming in, team play showing up, and once again Ember getting a well-deserved goal for the beautiful offense that they are putting on display. Dom now puts it to the corner. Luke's going to clear it away. Spacey's there though. Luke's not going to be able to follow up. Is the challenge from TC. Once again, Ember back on the ball. We're holding it off of the net. The 50 is just going to send it cross field up into the air. Spacey's there, ready for it though. Hits it with the back of his car to the side. And right now, we're just trying to keep it there. Oh, the net looks relatively open. It's Leighton in the corner. So close. Just slightly missing there. A chance to go 2 up and a chance for an insurance goal to reach that halfway point. But once again, the field is so quiet from Team Serene. They're doing everything they can to stop this Ember side, but it's not. It's almost not working.
Yeah, no, it's feeling futile here as Deadly Dom gets the reset, trying to force something here, but Leighton's going to take it to the side. No double touches here as TC's going to get the read. Spacey now is going to try and go for the shot, but D-Smiles has to clear off to the backboard only as Delidon soaring through the skies. Leighton's going to try and get the shot off. He gets it to the far side and doubles the lead for Brave.
They are on fire. Look at that. The angle, the positioning. Leighton gets that perfect touch. Defense can't do anything as they watch the ball fly over them into the net. And that's 2-0 with 2 minutes to go. It's a game of twos. And they really need a goal fast. Still goalless in this series. And Ember looking to go 2-0 up.
Yeah, no, game 2 here. Brave have a 2-goal lead as Laces looking for the pinch and then gets it to the corner here. Brave are still building pressure. They're not holding down the gas at all as Delidon puts it to the backboard, but D-Smiles can get a redirect to get it clear. Now, Spacey, air dribble to the side, and TC's going to get control, but he doesn't have boost here to follow up this play. But D-Smiles is going to go for this, and Leighton's going to have to get it to the backboard so he can get some control. And now he's messed up here. TC can go for the shot. He tries placing it to the top corner, but Delidon can get the save. Now, D-Smiles to the corner. He's going to get it to the middle, but somebody's not there and quick enough for the shot. Spacey can get the clear. Leighton now, 450 here. Spacey now is going to go for the shot up to the backboard, and it's unsuccessful once again. D-Smiles is going to get it to the corner. TC is now going to get a good clear to get rid of Spacey's pressure. Now, D-Smiles is going to have this ball continue going as Leighton's going to get this touch and Blue Luke's going to keep going. Now, Delidon's going to get the full clear and TC's going to get some control here as he's going to try and get this into the middle. Pre-jump from D-Smiles here. Can he get a shot off? He gets a touch, but it goes up to the backboard as Leighton's going to keep going for this. Now, he goes for the multi here to the backboard. Is anyone there for it? No, it's only TC. Spacey gets the catch. He's going for the shot, and it's unfortunate the play coming in from Brave, but it's great mechanics as well as they try to build pressure to triple the lead.
It's not just mechanics, it's confidence, Tino. They're so confident on the ball right now, and it's so difficult for Serene to make any space for themselves. Look at how many times the ball's just been intercepted in their own half. It's such confident play, but it's D-Smiles shutting them down as we reach 20 seconds remaining, almost 3-0, and the chances for Serene to come back into this one are looking slim. There's not enough power on the offense, not enough power on those mid passes. How slow the ball floats. It's just they've got so much time to work with. Could be an opportunity there for a consolence goal, but it's not going to work. 4 seconds left to go, and that's all but done and dusted. 2-0 going in the favor of Ember as they're looking real strong for this play-in series.
Yeah, no, looking strong indeed as they move on to a 2-0 series lead. Brave with full control of this series as we see the end game stats here. 2 goals coming in from Brave compared to Serene 0. 9 shots compared to 6 here as there's 4 saves coming from Brave compared to Team Serene's Good Blue. So you see there from those stats, it's just not the best coming in from this Serene side.
Yeah, 3 shots each for the players of Brave. Having a lot of impact. Spacey, I feel like Spacey had a lot of presence, but the score doesn't appear to show that. Yeah, I see Serene have 6 shots, but it just didn't feel like that. I don't know about you, Tino, but it just didn't seem like they had any sort of pressure towards Ember's net whatsoever, apart from maybe taps to the corner. But as you saw, like it wasn't even that much trouble for Ember to even just fight back. Like it was such a comfortable clear every time, and they're really looking in control of this one.
Yeah, no, it's just a lack of control coming in from the sides here. As we are going to change maps here very soon, and we're going to get this game underway. But as you see there, it's just lackluster coming in from the side of Serene, as you just can't see effective chances being built.
Yeah, maybe we get the maybe the game since maybe the game 7 is the reverse sweep. Maybe that's what we're looking at. But I have nothing to suggest that Psycho can deal with Ember right now. Just the confidence is insane. We're just setting up a new lobby. I wonder if there's any new details or if it's the same ones as before. I'm not sure. It's the same ones. Okay, I am in there. I think. Yeah, I don't know, Tino. It's looking rough.
Yeah, no, it's not looking the best for either side here. as for Serene, their playoff life is on the line. But for Brave, however, they're looking at that match against Unitox, feeling prepared as they are just going into this tournament with full confidence with their play.
100%. DFH Stadium being the location of our third match. Are Ember gonna take this one forward to match point? All Serene get one back for themselves. Teams are joining their sides. The lobby's remade. We're ready to go. And we're longing for a bit of a comeback here. Just at least a first goal for Serene. And away we go with the match in the rain.
Yeah, no, two teams here that they're fighting in the DFH here. Brave are looking to get that sweep attempt here. Team Serene are looking to claw back in the series as there's a big clear coming in from Serene to relieve some pressure early on. Now, Layton's going to have full control. He's going to get the dribble. He's going to get the flick. He's going to go over one. Gets the demo on the last man here. There's a wide open net, but no one's there to get the finish. It's Deadly Dom now. He's going to get control once again. He tries going for the flick this time, but Luke is going to have the 50. Layton now needs to get a touch to the corner, which he does. And it's just going to leave a little bit of Serene pressure here as it's being lackluster in the beginning of this game. Deadly Dom now is going to get some control here, and it's going to go straight to D Smiles, who doesn't get the touch. And now, Luke and Spacey with the 50-50. Layton's going to get it to the sidewall as TC's going to get it cleared. And it just looks like both teams are looking for some early pressure on. Team Serene have possession of the ball, but it's just lackluster with what they're doing.
Hey, there's no oomph behind their touches. We've got possession, and it doesn't really go further than that. It's just essentially an inevitability that Ember are just going to collect it back. As they do once again, it just goes towards them. They do boom it towards the Serene side. But yeah, it's coast to coast right now. No one really doing anything. And Layton off the ceiling! D-Smile shuts him down, and it's almost beautiful.
Yeah, no, D-Smiles here, brilliant defending to get rid of Layton's ceiling attempts there, as this brilliant mechanical play coming in from him, and Space is going to keep it up into the skies. Now, D-Smiles is going to get the clear, but Deadly Dom has the shot to the bottom corner, and takes the lead for Brave once again in Game 3.
Spacey, nice setup. Dom was just ready for that intercept there, and it's just a simple one. Positioning coming in as they cover all of the field. And once again, just begin to bear down on Serene in this best of 7. Really want that match point. They're looking like they really want it today. And maybe even pose a bit of a challenge for Fujiyoshi in the next match. And I'm sorry to start talking about next match, but if I don't see something soon from Serene, it's really like it's gonna be hard to imagine.
Yeah, no, it seems like it's going to be a surge for control here in this series. As Brave do take the lead, Serene are yet to score in this series. And it's wide open once again for Brave! As Deadly Dom couldn't get the finish, but Layton can, and doubles up the score.
Oh, wait. I sense desperation. They've got no boost. They're overcommitted. And they just chase the ball into the net. It's rough. It's rough. There's still time. You know, the series isn't over. Still got a game buffer. We still need to make something happen. Try to just get a single goal. I feel like that's really what Serene should be focusing on. But Spacey, Layton, and Deadly Dom not letting them have a single chance.
Yeah, no, Brave's defense are not letting them breathe with the ball or any sort of control here, as D-Smiles are going to try and get it out of his own corner. The Brave rotation stays firm here as they're all back, as Deadly Dom's going to go up for this, and TC's going to beat him to it. Luke has the shot, and it's unfortunate there as he couldn't get it in because of a brilliant challenge coming in from that Brave defense here. Layton now's going to have full control, gets the flick over to the backboard. Deadly Dom can go for the finish, but D-Smiles gets the save. It's brilliant defending coming in from Team Serene. It feels like it's a lifeline in this game number 3 as they're trying to prevent the sweeping possibilities for Brave. Now hits the crossbar. Layton's going to get this cleared. He's going to get this to the side wall as TC now is going to try to get control, but he's demoed by Spacey. Deadly Dom now is going to get full control. Gets the flick. Spacey's going to try to get it cleared off to the side as Leighton's going to whiff
Oh,
this ball here. Luke now is going to try to get into the middle, but he has no boost to keep control. Leighton now
it's
with the
in.
shot off the wall. We're
Oh,
lacking
it's
a
so
boost, but
close.
D Smiles gets the save here as Deadly Dom's going to get some control of the ball once again, looking for the 50, but TC can get it cleared. Leighton now, one-on-one, brilliant demo on the backboard, but it's Spacey now. He doesn't have enough time to get the shot off. Deadly Dom's going to take it up to the ceiling, looking for that shot, looking for the drop down, but no one's there. It's brilliant pressure coming in from Brave. Team Serene need to build something, and they need a goal.
They need something. They need something, Tino. 3 saves on the side of D-Smiles, but that's just stopping more goals from going in. It's not scoring them for your team. Excellent defense from Serene when it counts, but it's really it's crunch time, basically. They've got 50 seconds. They need to just be on the ball constantly right now, which they are. It's off the side, and Blue Luke goes in for it. Is going to fly and miss. It's going to give possession over. Is that an open net? Slightly off target anyway. Oh, but the 50 is going to roll it in. It's just a hairs away from going in. 30 seconds. Every second counts when you're 2-0 down, and it's Brave on the attack. Looking to go 3-0 up. It's 3-0 into the 3-0, and we're going to match point.
Yeah, no, that seems like the dagger coming from Brave in this game number 3. A perfect showcase of Brave's offense. 1 goal in the first, 2 in the second, and 3 in the third as they triple up this lead against Serene here. Full control of this series going to Brave. Serene need to get their act on. They need a goal. They need to build some offense, which they're attempting to do now. Blue Luke goes for the shot here, but it's unsuccessful. D-Smiles can get it into the middle, but it's just unconnected offense here as the time starts ticking here. No chance anymore of a comeback here. There's out of time. Brave are going to take game number 3, and Team Serene are on the brink of elimination in the RSC Challengers here.
Yeah, that's almost an understatement. It's a brink of humiliation as they're goalless, gameless. Just going to get completely shut out at the very start of lower bracket. That is not what you want for play-ins for your team. That's really got to hurt the mental. And it's a tactical timeout for Serene, as this is potentially the last game of the series. They really need to talk and go back to the drawing board. The tactical timeout into the reverse sweep. What do we think?
Please no. I'm sick of reverse sweep attempts, but no. Seiko are using their tactical timeout here. They really need to strategize what they are doing when it comes to the rest of the series so they can keep their playoff hopes alive. And now, going into game number 4, what do you think really is the thing that they need to do? Because they haven't got a goal in this series yet.
They need more power. It just seems to me that they look like they're trying to achieve what I think that they need. That makes sense. They're going for the ball and trying to create plays, but these touches, just that finishing, that execution on the end, that the last push towards that, just to finish the play is what they need. Kind of what I alluded to in the second game, where Ember just had no problem whatsoever clearing things away and just getting the ball out of their half. Because these weak touches, they're just slow. It's like me just gently throwing you a tennis ball. It's just like there's no problem at all. You need to be like lobbing it at you full strength. So yeah, like it seems like they're almost there, and they're trying, but it's just lacking that little bit.
Yeah, no, it just seems like they're lacking really when it comes to building some pressure and building momentum here as the time ticks for Serene here. If we can get to the point where they can build pressure, they can build something here, as it's just going to be tricky here. For those of you coming into the stream currently, we have Brave versus Team Serene. Tournament life is on the line. The winner goes against Unitox's Fujiyoshi once again, and currently is 3-0 to Brave. Team Serene are yet to score a goal in this series. They could be on for the perfect sweep in these challenger play-ins here, as Brave have full control of this series. They have all the pressure, all the momentum in the world, and it just looks like it's not going to be there for Team Serene this series.
Yeah, if they continue as they are, but Who knows? They might have figured it out. They might have. You call the timeouts either for that momentum break. 15 seconds left on the timeout, and yeah, sometimes that breather's all you need. Whether or not it's too late for them is the mental broken, because it's got to be rough. I mean, it wasn't even close so far. So just getting something back, that's got to be you just take it one step at a time. But tactical timeout's over. It's now or never, Tino, as we get into game number 4, 3-0 up. Serene, got to do something.
Yeah, timeout's over. Now time for the execution. It is not going off well as Brave start off with an early shot, but TC must get the save. D-Smiles here is going to get it to the corner here, and they cannot get some more pressure going. Blue Look is looking for the double tap opportunity, minimal boost, and Deadly Dom's going to get the clearance here. TC with the car change straight to the NRG decal here. Is that one of the things they must have been talking about? Their momentum and how they feel about the game. As Layton gets control here, looking for the reset, but Blue Look can get the clear. Spacing out to the backboard. TC misses the read. D-Smiles also misses the read here, but Brave can't get the shot, expecting some connection here. Layton now is going to try to force it into the middle, but D-Smiles is going to get some control. Gets it over past one.
Oh.
Can he force it past the second man? No, he cannot. And now it's just a back and forth game here. Early shot coming in from Brave as Layton looks for the shot and starts off game number 4 with the goal. It doesn't seem the timeout has been improving.
Oh, I that was such a crucial miss from TC. Went for the ball to put it in position, actually flies past it, and Layton completely capitalizing on that, getting that first goal. And you know, that is the nail in the coffin for this series, because they're coming out swinging with a really confident play. But for that to happen, it's just got to crush your spirit. I really feel it. I feel it through the screen. But they are having a lot more confidence, I guess, in this fourth match. So they may be on for a goal, but that just might be it. TC on the right side, just as I'm speaking. I was about to hand over to you, Tino, but they didn't even let me.
Yeah, TC there starts off the scoring for Team Serene. They get the goal that they needed most here, as there's a brilliant follow-up coming in from DC off the backboard. No one's there on Brave's defensive side, and TC catches them out for it. It's a brilliant way to capitalize on the Brave mistakes and start off the scoring for Team Serene and build some momentum here. And Space is going to try to go high here, but Blue is going to have that touch. Now, Layton now is going to look for the second touch here. And he gets the booming clear off to the other side. As Spacey and TC going to fight for this ball. TC can't get the touch. He's out of boost here. And D-Smiles will get the clear off to Spacey now off the backboard. Drops down to TC, who's going to get a booming clear to the other side. Layton's going to get a touch to the side here. But TC's going to have the ball once again. Straight into the middle here. Looking for D-Smiles. And it's a great save from Spacey there to hold off that Team Serene pressure early on. Now, TC once again going to get this ball here. It's going to go straight to Blue Luke. He's going to pop it high straight down to TC. Can he get the drop down pass? Can he get the shot? No, he can't. He gets it to the side here as Layton's going to get control of this ball. Demolition from Spacey here as Layton's going to now have full control. Blip reset coming in. He goes low. Wave dashes here to try and get it up to the ceiling, but TC's going to get a touch once again. D-Smiles now. Clear it off to the right side as Layton's now going to get control of this ball here. He gets it off the corner, his own corner. He tries going for the reset here. And he gets it past one, but it's going to go straight to D-Smiles. And TC's going to get that control once again. Slam down into the floor here. Deadly Dom's going to get this touch now. And he's going to continue with this ball here. Gets it to the backboard. The Layton shot is also going to hit the backboard here. And the TC's going to get the clear before the follow-up comes through. Both teams now building some pressure in this game number 4. Brave looking for the sweep.
So they are, Ember, building up pressure in this match as we equal. We've passed the halfway point, but we're neck and neck. You really want to be getting some insurance goals. You want to be you're padding those stats, and they're putting the pressure back on. It was Serene in the first half, but now it's Brave coming back as we try and pass down to Deadly Dom. It's still hanging in the corner. There's no one there in the net so far. The rotations are coming back, but look at Ember. All 3 of them committed upfield. There's not enough power in the counter attack for it to mean anything, and they're just retaining possession. As long as they retain possession and maintain that pressure, Ember just going to run away with it.
Yeah, Ember just looked like the confident side to run away with this series. And the sweep, and the shot coming in from Spacey is off. And D-Smiles going to get the flicked off to TC, but Layton's going to get the shot because it's lackluster here. Brave are going to clear it off now. Too Spacey once again is going to get control. And he's going to go high once again. But Blue Luke's going to get the challenge in time. D-Smiles is going to be late into this ball. It's a one-on-one with TC and Dom. But it's going to go up and high. TC's going to get one touch. He can look for the double tap. No, he can't. But Blue Luke can look for the shot. And gets it to the middle of the goal. And it's 2-1 Serene. They are the first lead they've ever had this series.
Yeah, that timeout doing wonders. And is that the teammates tripping up on each other on that attempted save? Brave, for the first time, looking a bit shook. And is that a kickoff goal? No, it isn't. Dom's back in time. I did not see him. But yes, 1 minute left to go. Can Brave equalize? That would be really devastating for Serene if that happens. They're going to be feeling really good to take the lead for the first time in the series. But attack's not looking as decisive as they have been so far this series. For Ember, this is a completely different team, and I think that's what Serene have. That's just down to the impact that Serene have had in this match. They've shown the different side to them, which is what we've been longing for. And if they keep this up, they could potentially find some signs of life. That was Leighton almost with a goal on the right-hand side, but it's Ember on the offense in the last 20 seconds. It's weak clears away, but they managed to create some space for themselves. 15 seconds left, Tino. I got no idea what's going to happen.
Looks KG in lead, but the final 10 seconds for Serene getting this game. Number 4 is on here. As Blue Luke's going to take it off to the wall. Leighton's going to keep it up in the 0-second draw now coming from Brave. Spacey needs to get a boom and clear here. It's quite lackluster here as D-Smiles can try to drop it down. There's the bounce coming in with the shot. It's in! With 0 seconds left, we'll go into overtime.
Oh my god, when I saw the bounce off that, what a perfect flip. That's literally millimeters away from hitting the ground. Oh, that's got to be so painful for Serene. The buzzer beater. I don't know what to say, man. They have to score. They have to get this overtime goal. They got no choice.
Draining.
Oh, and then that's open.
The shot coming in from Brave here is unsuccessful. TC gets the clear and it goes to Leighton here, and TC once again full control of this ball. D-Smiles is looking for the touch here, but Space is going to have a clear. Now, Leighton is going to get it off to the sidewalls. Team Serene with all the pressure in the world this overtime as they're trying to force a game 5. TC with the shot here. D-Smiles is going to get it to the corner. Trying to try and force it middle. No, he's going to drop it back to TC. No. 50-50 now. It's going to go all the way back to the corner. TC with the touch. Leighton and TC with the 50-50. It's going to go into the midfield and straight to the right. TC's looking for the double tap here with Deadly Dom's going to get a touch now. Leighton and Deadly Dom double committing for this ball here with D-Smiles going to try to press the ball, but he's whiffed. Blue Luke now to Leighton. He's going to get it cleared. TC now is going to try to follow up this ball, but there's a demolition coming in from TC. Now, Spacey looking for the double tap, but he's off with the ball. Now, D-Smiles going to get a booming clear. Leighton now looking for the double touch. He gets a good bounce, gets it to the corner, but there's no follow-up coming in from Brave as TC's going to get a booming clear. Now, Spacey is going to try to force it back into the corner for D-Smiles here. Back and forth in this overtime. After the buzzer beater coming in, it looks like Team Serene have all the pressure in the world, but they need the goal to force this series to game 5.
Oh, the pinch. It's beat by TC. Passed immediately over to Spacey, who gets a boom clear. Leighton's there waiting for it. Not before D-Smile has something to say about it. That's an opportunity saved away by Spacey. Leighton now getting challenged by Blue Luke, but Spacey's up for it. Can he get off the backboard? He can't. It's challenged away, and Dom is now on the board, trying to make something happen in the corner. And it's a battle for possession. Who's going to get that 50? Who's going to get that counter-attack? The bumps coming in, the challenges. Brave Esports right now looking for the chance, and that's going to be it. That's going to be Leighton putting Brave Esports 4-0 up. They're going to go forward. And Team Serene sat left pondering what went wrong this series.
Yeah, beautiful series coming in from Brave with the full sweep of Team Serene to get them out of the tournament quickly, and they take the 3-2 game. A brilliant game number 4 coming in from both sides. The buzzer beater from Spacey, and Team Serene are out of the Challenger play-ins quickly here as we go see the final stats of this game. Leighton with man of the match of this game with 2 goals and assists with 7 shots. Spacey with that last minute buzzer beater, but TC, you have to give him some credit there for that series. He definitely wanted to fight till the very end as we see the final shots. 9 goals for Brave compared to 2. 34 shots from Brave compared to 22. And now 53% ball possession here and some boost consumption stats here as we're going to go see the MVP for our series here. I think I know who it is, but if we can get some confirmation on who it is for this series here, it is late in here. 5 goals, 2 assists on 19 shots with 1,900 points in this series. A pivotal player to get this sweep.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to decide. I mean, between Spacey and Leighton, those guys are playing so confident this match. I think they owe that 4-0 sweep to just how decisive they were on the ball. Teams really couldn't do anything. They couldn't find any space for themselves in those first 3 matches. They got some signs of life after their tactical timeout. Just wish they'd played like that earlier because they would have had something back. You know, they definitely showed that they could compete. I don't know if it was nerves or if we were just off our game today or we didn't warm up. I'm not really too sure what the story is there, but that is the end of their season. Brave going to knock them out confidently, and they've got a beast up ahead against Fujiyoshi. But in the form that we are seeing them playing, it seems like we might have a bit of a competition on our hands. But Tino, thank you for joining me for this first series. You're on all night. But that's all from me. Just want to say it's been a pleasure casting with you, man.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for the compliment, and it's been a pleasure. And it's been a pleasure to cast with you as well here. We'll be right back after with more Challenger playoff action here. Will be Ember taking on Unitox's Fujiyoshi. Can they continue the momentum, or will Fujiyoshi shut it down? We'll be right back after this break.
One full of tears tonight, and I'm just feeling alive. I'm feeling so alive. One full of tears tonight, and I'm just feeling alive. I'm feeling so alive. I feel the heat rise, something on the right. You're coming home to night. Let's start a fantasy, picturing you and me. So far between the sheets at midnight.
Welcome back, everybody, to, of course, the RSC cast. Well, that was 2 hours ago, but we're here with some Challenger gameplay, of course. It is play-ins. It is the time where we will find out who our champion will be. But before we can actually crown our champion, we obviously do need to make sure that we find out who makes it to, of course, that championship Saturday. For all of you that was tuned in or were tuned in for that round one, Ember secured their sweep over Psycho in Team Serene. They make it through to round two of play-ins where they will face off against Unitox's Fujioshi. And of course, Ember with that sweep, they've got the momentum, they've got the clarity that they need to try and push through to that championship Saturday, where of course they will need to make that lower bracket run and of course the double best of 7. As we have a look at the team stats here, as you can see, 19 wins in league play for the side of Unitox, 18 for the side of Brave Esports. Similar stats in terms of their shooting percentage. Demo's a little higher on the side of Unitox, but if you do look over to the side of Brave, they have more saves. So maybe this team are, a little bit more adaptable when it comes to receiving pressure from the other side. I mean, Tino, from obviously seeing that first series where Brave got that sweep, what's the standout feature from them?
Yeah, no, just the pressure that they built, to be honest, was the key factor when it came onto the series that we just saw here with Brave sweeping Serene. I feel like if Fujiyoshi can't really build that pressure, it's going to be the same outcome once again.
Well, I'll be certainly interested to see how these two teams face up against each other. I think based off that momentum from the side of Brave, I'd find it really hard for them to not go in and find another result here to find themselves in that championship Saturday. Of course, they are coming up against a strong side. Everyone knows that Heki and the crew do build strong teams over there at Unitox, so it'd be really interesting. I think this one goes a little bit longer. I'm going to go with a 4-2 win here for Ember.
I feel like the series will be a very close one, a very cagey game here. But I think that momentum that Ember are going to bring, I have to agree with you there. I think that Ember will take this series, but I think it's going to be a 4-1 rather than a 4-2.
Well, all the players are in, so I think without further ado, let's get this one started. I know the players will be antsy. They'll be wanting to continue that momentum whilst they are warm. We are going to be starting off, as always, on Manfield night. Is it the night where Ember can shine their brightest? But we'll get these players ready to go. Be really interesting to see if, of course, that Ember side can find that first goal to continue driving themselves forward here. I think the main thing that I saw when I was watching that first series on the broadcast there, Tino, was they always had the answer. Whenever they were under attack, they always found a way to break out and in some situations, get goals on the counter.
Yeah, no, most definitely. The pressure that Brave were able to build up from that last series was really the key factor going into this series. They have all the momentum in the world. Can Unitox stop that, or will Brave continue their march? Spacey will take it onto the left side here, and it just feels like it's just going to be early pressure coming in from Brave. Looking for that double tap later. Can he do it? Yes, he can! As the deflection coming in from Blugie does get it into the bottom corner, and it starts off the series.
Yeah, great bit of starting play. Right off the back of the car. Blugie unfortunate with the 50 there. Brave will be delighted to find an early goal, 29 seconds in, and already they're finding themselves on the front foot. I think maybe here, hopefully, for the spectators, they find themselves against a little bit more adversity coming up against this Unitox side. Of course, Axlos, well known within the RSC community. He's been there, he's done that, he's been to finals, he's been to semi-finals, he's been to game 7s and game 5s. He knows what pressure's like, especially having Hazard on his team as well, someone really known within the RLCS community as well. They are obviously posing a little bit more pressure than what I saw from the previous series with the Team Serene's Psycho. So it'd be really interesting to see if they can stay on the front foot and try and break down this defense within Ember.
And it'll be interesting to see if that defense will be broken down here, as it wasn't very fragile in that Serene series. Serene just weren't able to capitalize. Leighton tries forcing it into the corner, and Adam really tries to build some more pressure here. There is a substitution coming in from the side of Brave here, as Axlos can get the shot here and tie up the game for Unitox.
Well, I mentioned it earlier. Akros, he's been there. He's done that. He's in the middle. He manages to get, obviously, the touch off of the crossbar. A bit of an unfortunate dilemma there in the defense, obviously, for the side of Ember. Their spark maybe dropping a little bit from how the first series went. Spacey, I have to give a call out to Spacey. I've been with Spacey from the get-go with RSC, very well known as well in the RSC community. So a lot of experience on both of these teams. I think for me, with Ember, they've got, you know, the two newer players compared to everyone else. I think everyone on the side of Unitox has been in RSC for at least 3 or 4 seasons. Axos now along the right-hand side wall looks to find that one in the middle, isn't able to find Hazard. So Bluegi is going to be able to push up there, but no connection in the offensive play here. So we're going to see a counter come out from Ember. Spacey will send this one to the corner, tries to steal the boost, and is successful in doing so. But the attacks from Ember this game, they seem to be a little bit more delayed. I think they're trying to play a little bit more reserved. I think, Tino, as you know, you've been there, you've done that, you've played in finals yourself. That first game in a series is the most crucial because that's when you really set the pace.
Yeah, no, game one's really set the tone of the series, really set how it's gonna go here, as it's just back and forth coming in from these two teams. The Space is gonna try to get it to the corner here as he was trying to build some pressure but missed the touch. Now, Axos is gonna get it into the middle, straight to Hazard for the shot, off to the near post, and gains the lead for Unitox here. They've split the lead here, Brave.
Well, Axlos and, of course, Hazard linking up once more. They're linking up so well, even production can't believe what they're seeing. The calls that we're hearing in the background, they're absolutely shocked that Unitox are taking this game one so far. Hazard's going to be up early. Looks for the reset. Doesn't quite come off the way they would like. So it is going to be a push out here once again from Ember. Leighton is able to send that to the side wall. A miss there from the side of Unitox. Works out nicely for Ember to be able to push up. But a demo from Axlos. Good communication through to Hazard. Another a counter attack here. Shot from Axlos isn't quite able to make the back of the net as they would like. And still now, I mentioned about how this Brave side managed to absorb pressure when they needed it the most and sort of counter attack. We're seeing them absorb a lot of offensive play from Unitox, but the counter attacking isn't really coming through.
Yeah, no lack of a counter-attacking threat compared to last series here. Unitox have really shut that playstyle down in this game number one. As Adam now is going to take it into the side here for the side of Brave here. But Unitox are building more pressure here. Hazard's going to take the shot here and get it to the right side into the near post once again. And they double up the lead, Unitox, and take full control of game number one.
Fantastic positioning there from Hazard. Sitting on the right wall, waiting for any clear. Should it come his way, and that's exactly what happens. Able to slot that one in the net. It gives, obviously, the side of Fujiyoshi a bit of breathing room here now. With 1:13 left on the clock, they're able to sort of take a back seat a little bit if they wanted to. They can relieve some of the pressure, but it doesn't look like they're doing that. They want this side of Ember to feel the full force, the full might of the ball. Hazard is able to get this one up again. No follow-up from Hazard in this occasion, but Bluegi is able to push through, directed back down to the Ember half. Hazard going to look to try and find Axos in the middle. A demo from Spacey in the Fujiyoshi defense, so is able to sort of relieve some of that pressure, but it's relentless from the side of Unitox. They have possession, and if they lose possession, Tino, they're straight back down their throats and making sure that they get that ball back.
Yeah, no, relentless pressure coming in from Unitox. They've really recouped themselves after that first goal here. As Adam's going to try to force it into the middle to try to build some pressure once again for Brave. They're trying to get glimpses of what they saw in that first series here. As Spacey now is going to get into the midfield and bounce it up high. And he's going to try to continue the play here. Gets the bump, but time, 10 seconds left here. They need a goal in regulation. Blue's going to get a save here, and it just looks like game number one is slipping away from Brave, and Unitox will take it.
Well, Spacey's going to try and get a consolation here right at the death. Doesn't quite come out the way they would have liked. And I think that the takeaway point for me in that game Ember, they got that first goal. They sort of set the pace and went, you know what, we won that first series. We're going to make sure that we come through and we carry on that momentum. And then it got to about 2 minutes in, and something just switched in Unitox, and they just had a takeover performance. I think once they obviously got their hooves dug in, there was just no way for Ember to get back into this. When Unitox were attacking, everyone was behind the ball, and when they were defending, everyone was behind the ball. And I think when you've got unity like that in a team, it's really hard to break the defense down.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a hard defense to break down of the side of Unitox there. It was a back and forth game with pretty equal stats here, with Ember getting most of the ball, but it was the efficiency of Unitox that really took game number one here. Hazard with the MVP, 2 goals, 1 assist with a save and 2 shots there, 100% shooting accuracy coming in from that performance here. And what you really see here is just control going into game number 2 as we enter the temple here, as we can see whether Brave can bring back their lead and their pressure from that last series here and tie this series up, or will Unitox double up the scoring here? Let's begin game number 2 in hopefully a good start here, as it starts off from the center circle here with Spacey, and now Hazard's going to get control here with a Zen touch here to try and continue this play, and it's just going to be unsuccessful here. It's just going to be a beginning of some chaos here as Bluegie's looking for the shot here, but it's going to be unsuccessful. And now Adam's going to take it to the sidewall here. It's early pressure coming in from Unitox. Braid need to get their act together. They get the redirected space. He can look for the challenge and is unsuccessful here. And now it just looks back and forth here in the beginning of game 2.
Yeah, Ember once again starting off the game really well. It's going to be interesting to see if their consistency can sort of change a little bit more in this game number 2. They set off the pace really well. But as it progressed, I think maybe a little bit of fatigue, a little bit of complacency set in with that Ember side. Double demolition there, though, from Ember, really lighting up the pitch. Leighton's going to try and take this along the left-hand side wall. Ceiling touch, gets the shot down. Blugie is going to be there to save it, puts it back into the middle. Adam with a shot. Adam isn't able to find the back of the net. Blugie, once again, is able to resume control of this. And now we're going to see, can Ember adjust? Can they maintain that defense and find those counterattacks that they did so well against Psycho?
Yeah, I know we'll see whether they can build more pressure here like they did against Psycho here, as Unitox going to have the ball. The flick coming in from Blugie and the demolition to Adam here as the pressure builds to Unitox here as it gets into the middle from Blugie, but Spacey can get the clear, but not for long here as Asa can get a touch here and try and build some more pressure, but Adam can get clear off to the side here as Axelos gets demoed by Adam once again. Leighton now is going to try and get the shot off, but he has a little boost, forcing the 50. Now, with Axelos here, as the Unitox is trying to clear it out from the corner. The safe spot really for the defensive side. Spacey looking for the shot here, but it's unsuccessful. Unitox now are holding their line strong as Brave are building more pressure here. Double commit coming in from Brave here, but it's going to be lackluster as Hansen can get the clear and look for the counter-attacking opportunities. Blugie with the open net. Spacey with the disruption here, and it's just going to be unsuccessful. Now, Brave here looking for some more pressure, but Unitox are holding the line strong.
Well, Bluegie's going to try and carry on this play. Isn't able to get that second touch in the air, loses control, and allows Ember to reshuffle, reform their attack. And I think they've done a better job in this game number 2, this side of Ember. They've really readjusted. They've made sure that if they do lose possession of that ball, that someone is getting back or someone's cutting the rotation a little bit quicker to apply that additional pressure. Spacey is going to try and find Adam in the middle. Adam with a shot isn't quite able to get it goalwards as they would like, so it's going to come all the way down to Leighton. And again, you see that instant rotation there from both of the Ember players, making sure that they're back behind the ball. It worked so well for Fujiyoshi in game 1 that Ember's just following the recipe.
Yeah, no, you see how Fujiyoshi is continuing to build some more control of this series as time progresses on. Still 0-0, however, no end product has been made here as Leighton's looking for the challenge with Hazard, and it's going to go all the way to the far side. Blugie with a shot here, looking for the double tap, but he can't get it successful. Axel's looking for the follow-up here, but it's also unsuccessful. Now, Spacey looking for the shot to the left side here, looking for that pressure. Leighton now is going to take control of the ball, gets that flick, but it's unsuccessful here. It's going to go to the right side. Now, Adam's going to try and build some more pressure. Leighton with the shot! Straight to the top corner here as they start the lead off for Braves Ember.
Yeah, great bit of pressure there. Adam able to really apply that on the back wall, gets it into the middle. The rotation not coming through quick enough from Blugie to get back to that back post. allows Leighton the free net. He slots it nicely. And Ember, again, game number 2 here, finds the first goal in this game. They've done so in game number 1. Now it's all eyes on them to see if they can maintain that defense for the rest of the game. Almost a chance coming through there to Hazard, nicely blocked off by Leighton. I'm interested to see, though, do we see a more aggressive side from, of course, Fujioshi? I thought that was in, Tino.
Yeah, no, it definitely looked like so, but here, Unitox pressure is definitely building here. Blugie looking for the double tap, but Spacey can get the demo, get the clear off to the side here. Double commit coming in from Brave. Leighton doesn't have boost to try and get this clear off the backboard. Hazard looking for the shot, but it's too high, and Spacey can get a booming clear. Now, lacking a boost here coming in from the side of Brave is Unitox now try to build with the ball once again. Blugie now trying to take control here, but Spacey can clear it off to the corner. Now, dropped out to pass straight to Axlos here, but there's demolitions coming in from that offensive side as Brave now trying to hold on to this lead. Double commit coming in from Brave once again. They can't get the double tap because of the bumps that's happened there. And Bluegie's going to get the bump here. Final 30 seconds are looming here, and Brave are trying to hold on to their lead.
Nice bit of tiki-taka play there from the side of Fujioshi. Tries to find the ball in the middle and the shot on target, but it doesn't quite work out the way they would like. Adam is able to get that demo. Does get the shot on target, but it is blocked out nicely there by Blugie. And with roughly 15 seconds left here in this game, you can't help but feel Ember have done enough here to secure game number 2. Space is going to try and kill as much time as possible. Is going to send that one to the back wall. Axlos needlessly gives away possession there. The dive needed to happen. Leighton's going to have a shot on goal. It's going to pop up nicely. Spacey will send that one to the back wall. And unless a miracle can happen here for Unitox, game number 2 is going towards Ember.
But it's looking like the Miracle's looking for Brave side. It just touches the floor before it goes in. And Ember will take game number 2. An impressive fight back for Ember to recoup this series here. Leighton with the MVP. 1 goal off 5 shooting shots. 20% shooting percent accuracy here. With only 3 saves required for Ember compared to Fujiyoshi's 6. So the momentum of this series is most definitely flipped as Ember had all the pressure this game.
Yeah, it was a really good adaptation there from Ember. That first game, they were sort of outclassed towards the second half of game number 1. And I think they took a lot of points. They used the 60 seconds post-game really well. They made sure that they made the adaptations that they needed to make. You know, when they're not on the ball, they need to be a little bit more defensive because they're allowing too much space for this Unitox side in the middle. There's been a few rotational cuts, which I think has helped them sort of build a bit more pressure against Unitox. For me, because they've already played a series, obviously they're a little bit warmer. Once they can get their momentum back again, I think they'll be comfortable. It's more for me now, if they can take this game number 3, that's where the momentum will build. If they go game for game, that's when for me it gets a little bit shaky because at that point, it's anyone's series.
Yeah, anyone's series here as soon as you get to that point in time when it comes to this game. Now, game number 3 in the DFH, all to play for now, as anyone could seize control of the series. And now we get to the center circle here. The statue of the Octane is calling for somebody's name to be on the statue to make some more history. And it's going to get cleared off by Spacey as Axlos is going to take control of the flick to the backboard. And it's just going to be unsuccessful pressure here coming from Unitox. But it starts off that shifting momentum coming in from game 3. Blugie tries to go low. Hazard takes it to the side. Axlos at the free shot. And it goes in off the near side. And Unitox start off their series. They'll start off game number 3 with a goal.
Well, he may be goofy and silly, but he's the man you want on your team for moments that matter. Axlos sneaks into the middle. And yes, exactly that. He is able to find that first goal here for the side of Fujioshi. And just when we thought the momentum had shifted to the side of Ember, Unitox come back and say, look, you mess with the ball, you get the horns. 30 seconds already gone in this game. And instantly, Tina, we've already seen that the dynamics completely changed again because once again, Ember's on the back foot. Could it be a second? Fantastic save from Spacey. I mean, Tina, this series really is end-to-end at the moment.
Yeah, end-to-end, back and forth series between these two sides. No one really has a dictating of play. And when it comes to either of these games here, it feels like it can be anyone's game going into this series. As now Spacey's going to clear it off to the corner here, and Axlos is going to try to take control off to the side wall. Now, Pop-up high coming in from Leighton and Hazard with the 50-50 now. Adam's going to try to take control. He's going to go low at first to get past Blugie, and he's going to try to get past the second man with the 50-50, and Leighton's going to be the only one with a free ball here. Gets that soft touch here to try to continue with an edgeable, goes for the dunk, and it's not successful here, but Adam has the shot to tie up the game for Brave.
Well, Leighton gets a fantastic bit of aerial play. 50s nicely with Blugie, and Adam sitting exactly where you want your second man to be to send that one home. Celebrations, of course, for the side of Ember. They've got themselves back into this game, and they're still well within a shout of winning this series. It's all a question of, can they hold off Unitox from finding a second goal? Because, you know, you've won game 2. You don't want to allow Unitox to sort of enter that fluid, free-flowing state. Leighton's going to have a shot here on goal. A demo play attempted by Space. It doesn't quite work out. Has left the net open here for the side of Fujiyoshi. Hazard is sitting in the middle, but Axlos isn't able to get there. So Hazard has rotated out here. Leighton is up early, tries to get the redirect. Spacey goes for it. A bit of miscommunication. And now it leaves a 2v1 for Adam.
And 2v1's being built for the side of Brave and Unitox here on both ends of the field. It's an end-to-end game, even on either side of this game, really. Spacey now is going to try to take it to the sidewall. Demolition on the back line for Unitox here. They need to build some more pressure. Leighton's going to get the clear for now. He doesn't have boost here to try to continue this ball, but he's going to get the flick over 1 here. Is he going to get the flick over 2 here? He gets the solo play with 0 boost, but couldn't finish up the chances. The last man was able to get back in time. But Spacey gets the 50 to the bottom corner and takes the lead for Brave.
Well, once again, the middleman sitting exactly where they need to be. I'm not quite sure what Blugie was trying to achieve with that. You know, you had possession. There wasn't really any need to send that one into the middle. If you can, get it into space, because that's when you allow your team to sort of adapt and allow the passing plays to come through. And now you've needlessly put your team on the back foot. We're only halfway through, so they will have plenty more opportunities to find an equalizer here and potentially even a winner. But with how well Ember have readjusted to this series, you know, defensively they seem to be a lot more sound. They seem to have a lot more confidence going forward. And as I say that, I thought they were about to concede. Thankfully, Spacey is able to get this one out for Ember. Keeps the attack glowing for them. Axlos is able to catch that one nicely. Looks for the 50 against Leighton, who pops it up. And, you know, even still now, when they're not on the ball, the positioning seems to be a lot more positive from Ember. It's almost as if, you know, I spoke about that flow state for Fujiyoshi. It's almost as if Ember's hit theirs, Timo.
Yeah, no, it feels like Ember's hitting their stride at the right time in this series here. Brilliant pressure coming in from Brave throughout this game here, as Adam's going to try to look for the 50 here, but he gets bumped as well, trying to force that pressure now. Blugie now is going to get past 2 here with the solo play. Axlos is going to get 1 touch here, but Spacey's now going to have control with the shot. It goes in once again. They couldn't keep it out. And Spacey with 2 goals in this game here, as he takes control of the series by himself and doubles the lead for Brave.
Yeah, Spacey obviously able to find that 3rd goal. And once again, we're back into that breathing room territory for the side of Ember. You know, 90 seconds on the clock. If you want to be a champion, you've got to come back from these sort of positions. So we're really going to see what the composure is like on the side of Fujiyoshi. Ball put back into the middle needlessly by Leighton. A chance that should have been taken from Axlos. Maybe that's his goofy and silly side coming through, because he's not able to put that one through, and then he backflips, but is able to just about recover in time. And with 60 seconds left on the clock, Ember will be happy to see this one cleared from their defense.
Oh, brilliant defender coming in from Ember here as Unitox are starting to build some pressure once again. Now, Ember with a lot of work to do to keep this double up lead, and Unitox need to get some goals going now, as they can't give Ember this momentum going into game number 4. Now, Blugie now is going to get some control of this ball right here, looking for the flip reset. But he's unsuccessful here as Adam's now going to take it to the wall into the midfield. Hazard's going to get a booming clear, but it's only going to go up to the backboard, and nothing's going to come out of this now, as Ember now just take control and taking this ball side to side to side to side once again. Axlos now is going to take it to the wall, but Ember's now going to take control as the final 10 seconds looms. It looks like Brave is going to take game number 3 and lead in the series.
Well, we've gone tit for tat in games 1 and 2, and then Ember recovering in game 3 to get them back their leads that they so sought for in game number 1. The ball is going to drop. It's going to give, of course, Ember that series lead I can't help but think now, that performance from the side of Fujiyoshi in game one was so strong. And now games 2 and 3, Ember have really come through. They've shined really well. Spacey with that MVP performance. It seems as if they're taking their chances more. You look from the 2 goal scorers on their team, 4 shots, 3 goals, a 75% conversion rate. Do you think that's the difference now? Because Fujiyoshi, they've had more opportunities to score. They've had 11 shots compared to the 7 on Ember, but they've lost 3-1, Tino.
Yeah, no, it just seems lackluster coming in from the side of Ember here, as now they take control here. Fujiyoshi have a lot of work to do here in this series now, because they're letting Ember take all the control and all the momentum going into game number 4 here. They can't let Ember take this 3-1 lead as we go to the Utopia here. Full control now to Ember. It's up to Fujiyoshi now what to do with this series. They're building a bunch of shots. They're getting a lot of pressure going, but they're just not capitalizing on the chance. They're forcing Ember to 6 saves in that game there, but they just need someone to score their chances because they're making so many, but it's just lackluster as we go into game number 4.
Well, here we go. Of course, a chance for, of course, the teams to really cement themselves to that match point should they win. Leighton is going to get that early chance there. 9 seconds in, finds the first goal. And just as we saw in games 2 and 3, where Ember really sort of started to build some sort of breathing room, some sort of fluidity in their play, they find that first goal, Tino, in the first 9 seconds. And surely, if things carry on this way, they'll be finding themselves in Championship Saturday in no time.
Yeah, quick blitz for Ember here as he starts off the series hot now. Fujiyoshi with a lot of work to do now. They're a goal down and they're a game down here in the series. They need to build some pressure quick. They need to get some goals going now. Leighton now. Gonna go for this ball with 0 boost. Brave don't have a lot of boost in their tank. Unisox have 4 tanks around the board here, but they're just not doing anything with that type of pressure. Spacey now is going to try and get some pressure going here, but he's not going to be successful here as they're going to try for something more here. As Bluegee's going to take it to the backboard here. It's a little bit awkward coming in for the side of Fujiyoshi, and it's going to get sent to the middle for Brave. 50-50 now coming in from Spacey. He's going to go up to the corner. Now Leighton's looking for the double touch, but Bluegee's going to have their lines held on the backboard here. Good pressure coming in from Brave. Fujiyoshi needs to answer quickly.
Well, it just seems to be very messy in the defense here, for the side of Unitox. They seemed really strong in game number 1, and since losing that game in number 2, they haven't really seemed to get back on pace. So I'm not sure whether it's a communication issue or it's, maybe they need to go back to basics. But the complete sheer dominance at the moment from this Ember side, I don't really think they have an answer for it, because they've got possession of the ball here, Tino, but instantly Ember are there straight away. And then when Ember have possession of the ball, you sort of see this Unitox team, they're backing away from them, allowing them to have the possession and the play.
Yeah, no, it's just showing that they have full control of this series now. Ever since game number 1, it's just because of their efficiency and their conversion rates, really. Because Unitox are building pressure, not so much this game, but even in the last games. But they're just not scoring here. Brave are looking to score once again. Adam now is going to have a shot attempt here, but Bluegee's going to get the save in time. Spacey now is going to go for the shot here as Hazard's going to get it off the backboard. Leighton now is going to look for the shot here, but Aston gets the block. Pressure coming now from Brave here. Unitox need to find an answer with defending. Spacey with the shot. Goes low and lets the Dragons roar as they double up the lead for Brave.
Well, you look at that again, 2 players on the back wall there, Hazard, and of course, I believe it was Bluegee was on the back wall with him. The communication has to be better. We're not in the academy tier anymore. We're in challenger, Tino. You'd expect the communication to be a little bit stronger, or at least the game sense to be there. If one's on the back wall, you should probably leave or rotate out. And if you're not going to do that, at least ask the other player to do it. They're starting to put themselves in a really pressurized position, because if they lose this game, you're asking them to win 3 straight, and they can't even win 2 straight.
Yeah, no, it's just looking like a lack of control. Leighton now with the goal to make it 3. And Brave have all the control and all the momentum in this series as Leighton once again finishing off the job here with a brilliant shot into the near post. And right now, Brave cancelling out Unitox's any attempt here. And they just look like they're going to take control of the series. Adam with a dunk here. And he's going to try and get it into the middle here. He can't. Leighton's going to get the touch, but there's a bump there coming in from Blugie. And now Unitox needs to build some pressure. Gets the flick there. Space is going to clear it off to the corner. But yeah, Unitox here need to build some pressure. Otherwise, they're going to get this series going to match point and they need 3 straight.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see them call a tactical timeout after this game, especially if they don't win it. You know, minute 40 roughly or so on the clock left. No real opportunities here for them to find a goal. Axos is going to try and 50 that one into the middle. A chance here to find Hazard in the middle, but instantly once again blocked out by Adam Leighton, waiting on the back wall, ready to clear this one yet again. It's going to go towards the Unitox goal. Is it a 4th? It is. Leighton finds that 4th for Ember. Their spark is shining bright. They're listening here in Utopia Coliseum, and they are well on their way, Tina, to booking the slot in Championship Saturday. And with 1 minute and 24 seconds left, is maybe the mentality of this Unitox side a little bit too chalked?
You know, mentality and questions are being answered from the side of Unitox here, because Brave now just have all the momentum, all the control in this series. Demolition now coming in from Unitox. They're going to try and get this goal here, but Spacey can get the clear once again. He's had a defensive series of his life coming in this lower bracket here. They're fighting like they want to survive here, but Unitox here just being a bit sloppy here when it comes to building pressure, when it comes to creating chances, as Leighton now is going to try and look for the chance, and it's unsuccessful once again here. Brave with full control in this series. And what do you do with your Unitox to try and get this lead back into this series?
35 seconds here. I think for them now, but take this time. You can't win this game. This one's said and done. Have an extra breather, you know, talk about something other than Rocket League. Just reset your minds completely and just treat it that we're a best of 5. Let's just focus on getting 2 first of all. Or sorry, best of 3 rather. Let's focus on getting 2 first of all. And then we'll go from there. Let's force it to, of course, Champions Field. And then that's a whole another animal in itself if it was to go that far. But Ember, a great recovery from the side of Ember. Lost that first game, have now taken 3 straight. And I have to ask, you know, as someone, you know, of your stature, you've been in play-ins, you've lost play-ins in round 1. You've also been on teams where, you know, you've gone on the upper bracket, you've done the entire run, you've won a tier. What do you think this Fujiosi team need to do or adapt to sort of get the mentality back to where it needs to be, just like it was in game number 1?
Yeah, it's just a thing of mentality resetting and just make sure you have some good vibes around the team. Make sure that you are happy with each other, being able to trust each other, being able to build pressure, being able to create chances, but also talking about your strategy going into it. You need to find that weak spot that Brave are emitting here. They were only forced to have 2 saves here. It's just a lack of pressure coming in from the side of Fujiyoshi here, which is a complete metamorphosis from what happened in that first game here. As we're getting ready for game number 5, Unitox do not take the time out here as we go to Beckwith Park Midnight for game number 5 here. They don't believe they need the timeout. They think they can get this done as we go into game number 5. Brave on match point here. Can they see this series off?
Well, 5 minutes between Brave and qualification through to that Saturday. And the only thing standing in their way at this point is an absolute masterclass from the Unitox side. Adam's going to try and find an early entry here in game number 5. Lugi is up early, tries to carry this one through, but is met by the defense of Ember. Hazard tries to go for that corner read, isn't quite able to get it into the center of the goal as they would have liked. And Spacey's going to try and return the favor at the other end. And both of these teams now know what's at stake. I think Ember can afford to be a little bit more defensive, whereas with Unitox, you're already, 2 games down. At this point, just throw the kitchen sink at them, and hopefully, if they count their lucky stars, they can find the answer they're looking for.
Well, it doesn't seem like Brave are taking off the gas here. Flippery sets attempts coming in from the side of Brave, and counter-attacking possibilities coming in. It goes up high here. The bump is coming in on the last man, but Adam can't get the shot off. Bluegi now is going to get one touch here. He felt too awkward here, and a double commit coming in from Brave. This is the time for Unitox to try to create something. Axel's now clear off to the corner. He's going to try to get a second 50, but is unsuccessful here. A space he's going to get rid. Adam now is going to try build some pressure, but they're just missing the ball too much here. As Unitox, they're fighting for their life here. They need to build some pressure right now. Spacey gets the shot and starts the lead off for Brave once again. He's trying to cancel off this series now.
Well, it certainly feels like the final curtain is being drawn here on the Fujiosi side. 3:39 on the clock, so we can't technically count them out yet, but the performance isn't really giving a team that wants to fight and make it through to that championship Saturday. I mean, to be completely honest, this Ember side looks like, the sort of team that can make that lower bracket run on the Saturday. They've got the right mentality, they've got the right reserve. They didn't allow that loss in game number 1 to sort of deter them from how far they can get in this series. And, the response from losing that game 1 is exactly what you would expect from a championship winning side.
Yeah, no, exactly what you see there. The mentality stood strong and stood firm going into game number 2 in that series there. And now they've taken full control of this series. Spacey looking for the second shot as he doubles up the lead for Brave. Brilliant reset coming in from Leahy to get it into the middle. And Spacey with the finish. And they double up the lead here. You'd think that the tactical timeout was needed for Unitox.
Well, there's no point wishing upon a star that's already flown by. Axlos needs to sort of rally the troops once more. There's still a chance. There's still time for them to execute a game plan, to find their way through to a map number 6. But the response needs to happen now. Leighton's going to try and get that third on target. It bounces off the back wall. Adam with the shot off the back wall. Spacey. Oh my god. Are we in Challenger or Academy? Because Spacey, you've got to be putting that one away. They could live to regret that. They probably won't, because the mentality, as we've said countless times now, seems to be at a pinnacle point to where you need it to qualify for Saturday. But Spacey really should have put that one away, Tino.
Yeah, no, finishing wolves coming in from the side of Brave here. Spacey should have put that one in. And now Unitox have all the pressure in the world here. They're trying to build something now, but they can't do anything now. It gets into the middle for Bluegi. Bluegi now with a shot here, but it's going to hit the crossbar. If that was one chance that he really needed to see through, and Hazard's going to try to build some more chances, but it's just unsuccessful now. Spacey's going to try to build some more pressure here, but Axlos is going to take control once again here. 2-goal cushion here for Brave as they're looking to see this series off. Bluegi needs to make it clear, and he's going to get it to the corner. It's going to go right to Hazard. It's a perfect pass. He's now going to take control of this ball, but it's going to get cleared off, and Axlos is going to take control once again. The bomb now coming in, but Bluegi with the shot. It should be going in, but he gets the reset off the backboard, and it gets cleared again here. Brave able to hold their line strong, and Unitox here, time is ticking.
Yeah, I think Fujiosi, they've definitely been better this game with, progression forward and getting attempts on goal. I think the real issue for this team has been the conversion. They've definitely had really good spells of possession, but they just haven't been able to finish their dinner. Whereas, this Ember side, you give them a chance, they'll take 2, and that's the real difference between a team that wins and a team that doesn't. Leighton does go for that demo play there in the back line, but doesn't quite connect as they would have liked. It's going to drop down here nicely for Spacey. Sends that one to the corner wall. Maybe a call from Leighton there would have been the better result for the side of Ember. But with 38 seconds left on the clock, all they need to do is let that clock tick down. This Unitox side, they've struggled to find 1 in 4.5 minutes. The chances of them finding 2 are minuscule. Hazard needs a clutch play now. Sends this one high. Looks at Bluegi in the middle. Bluegi doesn't quite get the connection they would have liked. And I think it's fair to say, Tino, I think that's curtain call for Unitox. Ember's going to progress through to that championship Saturday with a 4-1 win.
Yeah, no, it's looking so. And Leighton looking to seal off the series, but doesn't. And now it's now set in stone here. Ember is going to move on into Championship Saturday as they qualify through the lower bracket and eliminate Unitox's Fujiyoshi out of the tournament.
Well, if you look at the stats, they're real solid performance. I mean, Adam only had 70 points in that game. Spacey had an absolute takeover performance. You know, 2 demos on there, 3 shots, 2 goals, 66.7% conversion rate. So, you know, these teams really coming through and making sure that, you know, when they are given that opportunity, then they will make sure that they score from it. 51% in domination for Unitox. So they had more control across the field, but they didn't quite utilize it. And I think that's the difference between a team that wins is from taking their chances, and the team that's lost in this occasion had them, but didn't take them.
Yeah, no, the chances weren't being used successfully here, but Brave here had more pressure here and executed better. 11 goes to 4 with 41 shots compared to Unitox's 28, and Unitox had to get forced to 27 saves here. An equal series back and forth, but it was just that conversion rate that you see from Brave as we look at our MVP for this series, and it's going to be Spacey. 5 goals, not a care in the world of assisting the ball whatsoever, with 0 assists, 1900 points, with 7 saves, 7 demos, and 14 shots. Brilliant stats coming in from our MVP.
Yeah, fantastic performance from Spacey. A little bit quiet in game number 1, but as we've got through to, of course, games 2, 3, and 4, Spacey did start to wake up a little bit and have a takeover performance. And as you can see, Ember there, you know, they do get that 4-1 win. They will progress through to, of course, the lower bracket. But that isn't everything that we've got for you tonight if you are tuning into this stream. Of course, we do still have Canaans versus Pulse in the upper bracket. Of course, you know, one team will lose a life, the other will progress through to that championship Saturday with a double chance. That's going to be a really exciting series.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I'm excited to see that series there as it's an upper bracket match here. It's definitely something different here. The tournament life isn't on the line here, but it's a massive advantage going into Saturday for the challenger players being in that upper bracket, taking on a #1 seed here instead of going against somebody. And the loser of this will go against this Ember side here, who has been such on form, and it's one team that I would not want to see in the lower bracket.
Well, of course, if you have tuned in just about now, Ember winning both of their lower bracket games to progress through to that championship Saturday. Don't go anywhere just yet because we do have an upper bracket match coming up, and we'll be with you shortly after this break.
Do you struggle to rank up in Rocket League? Are you stuck in Diamond while your other friends flex their SSL title? Well, look no further. I have partnered up with LTX Academy as a coach, and we are ready to boost your gameplay. With multiple tournaments and trophies won and thousands of dollars earned, I will tailor to your needs and make sure you get to that next level. I'm also doing discounted prices for the first 10 days, so you do not want to miss out. And you are also probably thinking,
CMOS, how do I book a session with you?
well, that's easy. Just open up that fancy browser of yours, type metafy.gg/@cmasorl_, pick a session to your liking, book a time, and bang, you're booked, and I'll see you in the call. Once again, that's metafy.gg/@cmasorl_.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. Wear the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
Run for the hills.
All right, I'll take it. Welcome back, everybody, to the RSC. Today we have upper bracket actions here in the play-ins. So far, we have seen Team Brave Esports, his Ember, take down Serene and Unitox in 4-0 and 4-1 fashions to get to the championship Saturday. Now we have two teams here who are guaranteed to be in this said Saturday, but winning this game will mean that you are entering the Saturday in the upper bracket and keeping your second life. Losing this series means you have to take on Brave. I am Tino, and joining me today is Masters here to watch this game.
Yeah, two big teams here. Canaans versus Pulse. Stingray, well known for building those sandbaggable teams. This one is going to be interesting to see if this one is one of those teams that can really elevate the Nexus franchise to the top. As you can see here, as previously mentioned, Ember getting those 2 wins. That will put them through to the lower bracket for this week's championship Saturday. Canaans versus Pulse, of course, the winner will progress through to the upper bracket on Saturday, whereas the loser will drop against Ember. You look at these standings here, both teams, 21 wins here for the side of, Canaans, and then 22 wins for the side of Nexus. It looks as if one of the teams have traded their position. Both these teams finishing in 3rd seed. Normally you'd see 3rd against 2nd. So it's quite interesting to see that there's that swap. And looking at this from the stats, a lot of demos, coming out from this Nexus side.
Yeah, no, after 5 weeks, having 196 demos is outstanding, to be fair. It looks like you're averaging 4 demos a game after 40 games of league play action here. And equal teams coming in from both sides here, so it will definitely be exciting to see how these games occur. And it also seems like it was 2 very defensive teams with very high amounts of saves as well.
Well, it'd be really interesting to see how these two teams get on. All of the players are in the lobby. I think there's only one more thing that we have to do, Tino, and of course that is the predictions. Myself, I do have a 4-0 win here for Nexus. I think they're going to sweep. In Stingray, we trust. Please sign me next season, Tino. With, of course, on Stingray's franchise, me and you can run it back. I've got a sweep here for Pulse.
I don't think it'll be a sweep here, but I think that DSQ won't be able to get past this strong Nexus team. I have 4-1 to Nexus here. I think they'll get a game.
Well, they are the predictions, chat. Let's get this one started. All the players are in. They are ready to go. It's going to be interesting to see how this series starts out. Of course, the first game is the most crucial. It's where you set the pace, or so you would think. In that last series that we had on stream, Unitox won that first game and then lost 4 straight to Ember. It's going to be interesting to see if, Pulse or DSQ are able to do that themselves. The pace already, Tino, from what I can see with these two teams, is a lot quicker than what we had so far in the 2 lower bracket play-ins.
Yeah, I know, 2 fast teams turn off the gate here. DSQ on the blue, Nexus on the orange here, as they are both looking for their spots in the upper bracket going into Saturday here. As Crimson now going up for this touch here. He's going to try and get the demos here going, but there's a shot coming in from the side of DSQ here, and it's early pressure coming in from that team. Now, 2 teams here that really made their stage here in this upper bracket, and they're just trying to hold on to that position that they worked so hard for in the beginning of this game. As the shot comes in, Inflict with the squishy save here to start off the game, and it's good mechanical play to show some confidence to starting off the series.
Yeah, Season's going to try and capture this one in the air. Does get the one touch, and it finds its way to Compact. Luke Frost there in the middle, ready to pounce on that one, but isn't able to get that goalward, so it's going to fall nicely again to Season. Falls down to Jaren, who can't quite get the touch there that they would have liked. And then they find themselves back in the middle again, and they do find the touch that they would have liked. And Canaans have the first goal here in game number 1.
Yeah, no, definitely a good start coming in from the side of DSQ here. Brilliant shot coming in from Jaren here as he starts off the series hot, and it's very fast game coming in from both teams here as Crimson now is going to take that hard cheat and get that touch now going on to the backboard. Coming in for the shot from Compact. And he ties up the game oh so quickly here, and we have a tie game.
Well, if you look here, Luke Foss sends that one onto the back wall, and DSQ themselves being compacted because they were a little too compact in the defense. 1-1 apiece here, 120 gone on the clock, and both these teams are really starting to get heated up. Luke Foss is going to try and carry this one on 25 in the tank, but is beaten out to the ball by Inflict. Crimson now is going to try and make a play on this ball, but it doesn't quite work out the way they would have liked. And I'm noticing as well the defense does try to sit a little bit too far back. But when the defense is pushing out like that, when they're last man, when you don't really have control of that ball, things like this happen, Tino. And Jaren finds that second goal that puts Canaans back in the lead.
Yeah, no, the bomb coming in the midfield, coming from the side of Nexus here, which disrupts their rotation and disrupts their defensive play because there was a demolition on the last man, and it's just such a free shot coming in from the side of DSQ here. They take the lead going into the series here as they find the dunk here, contact, can get the read and get the double tap! Yes, he can! And Nexus has such a quick response and tie up the game again.
Well, compact by name, compact by nature, does not miss. 2 shots, 2 goals for the leading man on the Pulse roster. And with the way this game's starting out so far, Tino, I think we could well be on our way to a Champions Field should the pace, should the composure from both teams remain intact. Crimson's going to try and go up for this one, isn't able to make that connection. Thankfully, Luke is there to intercept that one. Does fall past them, so Inflict is going to have the opportunity here. Jared takes this one up high, looks to that ceiling read, but opts to leave it. That really shows the skill level that we're dealing with now. These players, they have that knowledge of how the ball bounces. They have knowledge of where they need to position. Jaren will send that one high. There's a lot of possession, though, given away at the moment as well from both of these teams. No one's really settling down and making sure that they're controlling the pace of the game. And I think ultimately, that's down to the nerves because, 2 goals for both these teams already. Someone needs to set the pace.
Yeah, no, the dictating of play needs to be set right here, right now. And it just comes up to that control of the game and control of the ball and fully ball possession here when it comes to the beginning of this series here. And John with a shot here to take the lead going into this game number 1 here. And he'll take the lead with 2 minutes left.
Well, again, fantastic position in there from Jaren. Once again, does find the lead to Canaans. Of course, Dispatch will be absolutely delighted, as will Customs, with how this team's currently performing in their upper bracket game. For any of you that are tuning in, high stakes here. The losing team from this series will, of course, lose a life in Championship Saturday. Both these teams can relax just that little bit more than those play-in teams because both these teams playing tonight are guaranteed to make it through to that Saturday bracket. But of course, one will have those 2 lives, whereas one, if they lose on Saturday, they are out. Inflict will try and drive this one forward to sort of keep up the pressure, keep up the momentum for this Canaan side. But Crimson takes a little stroll down into the Pulse half and continues to sort of find that driving force once again to get Pulse back level up in this game, Tino. I mean, as that third goal's gone in, the pace from both of these teams has sort of died off a little bit. And for me, Canaan seemed to be a lot more positive since they've got that third goal.
Yeah, ever since the game slowed down, it really be going to Canaan's side here. It seems that Nexus really rely on that speedy game, really rely on that aggression. But Canaan's are able to slow the game down, take some control here as there's demos in the back lines. And there's just going to be more pressure coming in from the side of DSQ here. Now, Jaren now gets a reset, tries to get it through, but he can't get the shot off in just with correct connection here. Now, Crimson to compact here. Good passing plays coming in. Luke now is going to try to get it into the middle, but he can't exactly find a teammate there. Now, Luke is going to try to build some more pressure, but Jaren's going to get that clear to the other side. Gets a demolition on Compact as well. Inflicts now is going to get involved in the play. Gets a 50-50 with Luke. And it's just going to be all DSQ pressure here. They're going to buy time into game number 1. And it seems like they're going to take this game number 1 and lead the series early.
But Crimson has a chance here at Sunset. Tries to find that ball in the middle. Doesn't quite work out. So Compact will send that one across. Luke Foss isn't able to get the touch. The demo comes in. The ball is going to drop. that is going to be game number 1 going over to DSQ Esports Canaans. And they'll be delighted. A little horse dash from Jaren to celebrate. And as we look at these stats here, 519 points from Jaren, doing absolute wonders here, 75% conversion. I don't think you can ask for much more from your MVP.
Yeah, no, brilliant game coming in from Sharon there. 3 goals, 4 shots there, a hat trick on 75% shooting with a save and 4 demolitions as well. He was involved in both sides of the field there. But Nexus now, what they need to do is regroup and build that pressure once again so they can build some more offense and try to take more goals in this series so they can make more games, because it's a very open game so far with 5 goals happening in game 1 compared to the other 2 series that we saw earlier on. It really feels like it's going to be a thing of who scores more goals rather than conceding the least.
Yeah, Pulse started off really well, keeping the pressure, keeping the speed. But as that died out from the game, they sort of reserved themselves a little bit more. And that really allowed Canaans to influence the game, slow down the player, more importantly, position themselves in a way that they couldn't be broken down. I think for me, coming into this second game now, Pulse need to make sure that they're the ones that dictate the play. Because if this Canaan side go up 2-0, then you're asking for a really big job from this Pulse roster.
Yeah, no, it's a tumultuous task indeed to come back from a 2-0 series deficit here. And now we go into the Forbidden Temple here for game number 2. Now it's time for Nexus to really take control of this series, because they really need to get this lead back. Crimson now tries taking it into the middle, and the shot comes through, but it's just off target here. As Season now tries to take it up into the air, takes it to the ceiling, gets another touch here. No, he doesn't actually get the bounce there, but Crimson can't get the touch. He's lacking a boost, and now Compact will take control, takes an air dribble to the corner, and will try and get the 50 here, but it will go to the middle straight to Jaren and Crimson for the 50-50, and the demolition coming in from Compact. He'll take control of the ball. He tries getting it into the middle, but it's unsuccessful here. Season will now take control of this ball. No, he won't. Compact's now with the demo once again, and Luke will get control of the ball again, and it's just going to be more 50s in the midfield. It's a cagey game to start off this game number 2.
Yeah, an attempted sidewall there from the side of Pulse. Luke's going to try and get the shot on target. Compact once again. It's going to fall nicely to Jaren, who, instead of opting to go towards the Pulse goal, decides to take it to the side, sort of release the pressure a little bit on the defense, but it doesn't last too long as Crimson is able to find that first goal. And just like in game number 1, the Pulse side are in the lead, Tino.
Yeah, Crimson, brilliant placement coming in from that shot as he soars through the skies and gets that read into the net here as the Nexus start off this game strong. And Luke gets the demolition on the kick from the cheating man here as Crimson needs to get some clearance going because someone is chasing him down. And now Inflict here is going to try and force some more pressure. Crimson looking for the redirect, but he's off target once again. But yeah, Nexus with good start and good pressure going into game number 2.
Well, Luke is able to catch this one in the midfield, does get the flick towards goal and is able to find the goal here. Pulse with a 2-0 lead. A nice pass down from Crimson, and as mentioned, Luke is able to catch that in the middle. The defense here from... So an issue with the side of, I believe it is it's DSQ. So they've requested a pause because they've had a disconnect.
Yeah, it looks like we have a disconnect here, so we do have to pause this game number 2 here. The play will still be going on here, but it's not going to be counted here as we go. We have a pause really here from John because these issues are not looking good here. The goal will not stand here regardless of what happens here. And it just looks like currently we just need to see a technical timeout coming in for the side of Nexus here. And if our streamer can do a favor and actually pause the game, we can see what happens here. But let's see what happens as the game develops here. We're going to commentate through this a little bit still before we get the pause. But yeah, it's disappointing to see really in such a high-ended series that there is some technical issues here. And now we will just call the players off to leave the game here as we will take a break going into taking control in game number 2 is essential for both teams really, but
It
You
looks
see
as if
here,
both these teams are opting to carry on, Tino.
yeah, it looks so here. Jalen's looking like he's back in the game now. When it looks like we're gonna have a game here, it's 3-0. They look confident to get ready and playing here, and they're ready to play. So let's keep going here, and game number 2 continues.
Well, a 3-0 lead here for the side of Pulse. They'll take every opportunity that they can get. I'm sure the side of DSQ will be a little bit disappointed with the way that this one has carried on. It looks as if both these teams are still giving it a go. Season tries to find the back of the net. Doesn't quite work out the way they would have liked. Inflict is going to find the back of the net. And with 2 minutes still on the clock, I think it's still very well plausible, very much possible that DSQ can win this game, Tino.
Yeah, no, very possible that DSQ can most definitely win this game here. They're building some more pressure in going into game number 2 here. They do have quite the deficit to be recovering from. Crimson tries to flip reset Musty, but is unsuccessful here as Luke will now get it back into the final third. For Nexus here, he's going to try and get a shot off a Compact, but Compact takes the shot too high, and is not going to take that corner boost here to try and build some more pressure. Crimson now tries getting it in field, but it's unsuccessful. Compact now gets full control of this ball. Gets the air dribble. And now it's just, and more disconnects here coming in from Jaren here. He doesn't have the best of Wi-Fi here, so we might need a pause because of Jaren's internet issues here. And there we go. There's the pause that Abdul most definitely needed to do a lot earlier. But we will see what happens with this game here. Technical issues coming in for both sides. And it's just so unfortunate to see, really, Masters.
Yeah, it's really disappointing to see both of these players having the disconnect issue. So what we're going to do, we're going to obviously get some time back on the clock. We're going to obviously restart this one from a kickoff as well. We're just going to make sure, of course, all these players are back into the lobby. Of course, all the players are happy to continue. If I'm rightly so, I'm thinking about 1:45 left on the clock here, Tino.
You know, time's ticking here, but we also saw some disconnects a lot earlier in this game, so I'm not sure when this game could possibly restart, in my opinion, because it could start anywhere, to be honest, because there was a lot of disconnects, even when it was 1-0, when it was 3-0. So you never know what could actually happen in this game here. But it was good pressure in coming from both sides. Going into game number 2, obviously it's very unfortunate to see the disconnects. It's such a high stakes game and such a competitive game as well. But yeah, it's very competitive going into game number 2. Both sides really want to take this. Both sides really want to have control in this series, to be fair.
Indeed. So it looks as if we're going to restart this game with 3 minutes 30 on the clock, with a 2-0 lead to Pulse. The players, though, seem to be happy to carry on with what the current score line is. So I think if that's what the players want, they don't want to reset it and have more time on the clock, then by all means, if production can just restart this one from a kickoff, Jaren is back in the game, and then we can get this one started.
Yeah, just getting some confirmation with the players here. To make sure that everyone is back to be able to play in this game, because we don't want to see stuff like this happening in such a competitive series and in such a competitive game. We're gonna go. The players have agreed to keep the current score that we have here, so it will be 3-1 to Nexus Pulse at 1 minute 23 seconds here. But we are gonna start from kickoff here to make sure that both teams have equal footing here. We're gonna restart from the kickoff. Right now here, we're gonna get straight into action here.
Well,
And the
we're gonna
game
get
resumes here.
We are excited. We're going to get the game started again. 1:23 left on the clock. I'm not sure who benefits from that little break more. Do you think it's going to help the side of DSQ? They've had a little bit of a break. They can sort of work some things out. Clearly not, because there's a 4th goal from Compact.
It seems like Nexus really got the advantage coming in from that restart of the timeout. Brilliant pressure coming in from the side of Nexus, and Compact is able to finish that chance there. You can't be missing those types of chances 100%. It's so close to you. You have to put those away, which he does. Dead ball kickoff here now. Season gets control, but Crimson can go for the shot. It's going to go to the backboard if Inflict doesn't have anything to say about it, which he does. He takes it to the wall, and Inflict's going to take another touch again to the corner. Going to try and get this into the middle. Jaren with the shot! And gets it to 4-2. And they're trying to pull something back here, DSQ.
Well, with 59 seconds on the clock, we've seen more action in the past 30 than we did for the previous 3.5 minutes. This one really starting to ante up in terms of the stakes here. Inflict's going to lose that kickoff here to the side of Pulse. Luke is going to put that one nicely back into the middle, and Compact will just carry this one through. Tries to find that 5th goal here for Pulse to really shine bright through that defense, but doesn't quite work out the way they would have liked. But the attack's absolutely relentless from this Pulse side at the moment. And with 40 seconds left, you can't help but feel this should be a win in the Pulse books. And leads nicely onto your prediction, Tino. I believe you put a 4-1 to Pulse.
Yeah, no, I did put 4-1 to Pulse here. I think they'll take control of this series right here, right now. Here as Crimson now goes for the shot. Luke will go for the follow. Brilliant saves coming in from DSQ. It goes back into the middle, but Inflix is the only one that can get a touch and gets it clear. Inflix now is going to attempt the shot here, and Compact's going to get the save. He's going to try and get it with a sidewall read here, and Inflix is going to get another clear, and he's going to try and look for the final shots here, but there's not going to be enough time. Pulse will take game number 2.
Well, yeah, Pulse taking game number 2 there builds a little bit of momentum, just like we saw in that first series with me and you on the desk there, Tino. You know, Fujiosi taking that, of course, that first game and then losing 4 straight. And it's almost like we're witnessing deja vu. Canaan's really took control of that first game, but coming to the second game, all apart from, you know, the connection issues, Pulse looked really strong in that game. And if they take this into games 3 and 4, maybe even 5, then I think we could see a similar score as we did last series.
Yeah, no, we could definitely see a very close series here, very back and forth. But if Nexus can keep that momentum, we could definitely see a very convincing score for the side of Nexus. They had all the control of this game, 14 shots compared to DSQ's 5. Obviously, there was the tech pause here, so there was a bit of disadvantages here. But obviously, you still have to keep that respect for the Nexus pressure. So we will be heading into game number 3 here. We will be going to DFH Stadium. I'm just excited to see how this one goes out.
Well, of course, this is a crucial game in this series. You know, it puts one of the teams within 2, allows them that chance to have a little bit of a rest game in number 4. You know, should things not go too well for them. All 6 players are in. All 6 players raring to go here on DFH Stadium. Crimson's going to start off by taking this one along the right-hand side wall, gets that ceiling touch. Doesn't quite work out the way that they would have liked, but the pinch coming through just to maintain the attack here for this Pulse roster. Crimson again in defense, taking this ball off of Jaren, intercepted here by Luke. Gives away possession needlessly, so Inflict is able to get that one into the middle. But making up for his woes, Luke does reassume the possession here for this Pulse roster. And that's something I'm really liking from this Pulse team. If they are losing possession, they're making sure they're applying that pressure to get it back as quickly as possible. And I think, you know, you can obviously speak from this from your perspective as a champion. I think that's really important when you're playing against the faster teams, is making sure that you are asserting your dominance, just to make them back off a little bit. Let them know that, you know, the big boys are in town.
Yeah, no, making sure that your team is prevalent in the series is most definitely one of the most important things when winning a series. But you need to build pressure. You need to apply even pressure defensively to make sure that there's no chances of them creating pressure and creating offense. And that's just what you need in a series now. Double demo coming in from the side of Nexus here as Compact's going to try to take control of this ball. He doesn't have a full tank though, however, so he's not going to be able to get a touch here. Looking for the double tap now for DSQ. He gets it there. The counter-attacking possibilities are there. Inflict gets a good 50, but Luke is going to get it to the crossbar, and it's clutch defending there at the final moment. Crimson is going to go low here. Going to get full control, but he's going to get it right to Inflict, and he's going to try to get it into the middle for Luke with the shot, but it's going to be unsuccessful here. But yeah, good pressure coming in from both teams, offensively and defensively, and it looks like a neck-and-neck game for Game 3.
I feel confident enough in my ability to be bad at this game, but be able to read it, that I feel that whoever wins this Game 3, I think that team's going to go on and win the series, because that Game 1, DSQ, when they found their footing, they were really dominant. And then in Game 2, Pulse, sort of took over, albeit with the connection issues. And now in this Game 3, I still feel like Pulse have the slight upper hand. You can't really see Kanan's pushing forward too much. When they do get into that middle, instantly it's challenged, or instantly it's cleared out. And then once again, Pulse are on the ball, threatening the Kanan's defense. So yeah, I think if Pulse win this game number 3, I can very, very comfortably say I think they'll go on to win this series. As Cribs is going to go for the double, finds the double. Nice little bit of Alan in the background to celebrate for his victory there. And with 2:29 left on the clock, Pulse are setting the pace here in game number 3.
Yeah, wonderful double tap from Crimson to set some control in game number 3. Season goes for the mid boost when he shouldn't be going. He should be sat back there, and it's a beautiful double tap to get past 2 men there. Now Compact with the dribbles, taking it high, takes it through, and doubles up the lead for Nexus. Compact shows his mechanical prowess and doubles up the lead for Nexus.
Well, with 2:19 on the clock, it only took them 10 seconds to find that second. So surely the belief on that team now is that it's their series to lose. Crimson's going to try and flick this one into the middle, but isn't able to make that connection. Luke with the double touch towards his own defense. Not the direction they're going to want this ball to go in. See Crimson there in the back left, trying to regain some boost in the tank. Whereas, mistaken purpose would say getting their Lucasade. Crimson does catch this one back right. A bit of miscommunication from Cadence now. It's going to allow Pulse to sort of reposition, readapt. And for me, I think there's got to be communication issues, or at least there's still going to be some slight network issues on this DSQ side, Tina, because they're looking really uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, DSQ are looking very uncomfortable compared to game 1. They don't have as much control as they did. Nexus feels like it looks like they're just getting so much pressure that DSQ can't get out of their own box. Crimson now is going to try to go for goal here. Double demo coming in from Luke here. Nexus will have all of the ball. Infield pass to Crimson, who gets it to the bottom corner and gets the lead to 3-0.
Well, Canaans will be disappointed. Production will be disappointed. And more importantly, the franchise management of DSQ will be disappointed. A 3-0 victory here, looking likely on the cards for the side of Pulse. And as I said in game number 2, they've taken over. And if they carry on this performance into games 4 and 5, you can all but certainly say they'll be progressing through into the upper bracket as Compact nicely finds the fourth. The quick shift turn slots that into the bottom left corner. Inflict isn't able to get that touch. And I can't help but feel we may start to hear murmurs, potentially a call from this DSQ side to use their tactical timeout.
Yeah, can't be so certain about strategies just yet here, but one thing that we can say for sure is DSQ are in trouble here. Almost a flip reset coming in from Season there, but that was one blip throughout the momentum of this entire game here. Team Nexus here with full control of this series and full control of this game number 3. It's a 4-goal lead for them here, and now DSQ are able to build some pressure here. John with a shot here too high. Follow up coming in from Season. It's off wide. And it's just unsuccessful pressure coming in now from the side of DSQ here. They're not getting anything through.
Yeah, and with 20 seconds left on the clock here, DSQ won't be able to get anything from this game other than potentially a consolation goal. for me, I think they need to take these 60 seconds, or at least, call that timeout, give them some breathing room, kill that momentum that this Pulse side have built, and, assess their strategy. Where are they going wrong? Why are they allowing this Pulse side to have so much possession, so much control over the ball? I think for me, if they don't call this timeout, they're basically saying, if we lose, we lose. We're not bothered. I mean, you look at the Pulse stats across the board. Luke had 94 points. They're basically 2v3'd, and they won 4-0, Tino.
Yeah, but the thing is with Luke here in this game, it's not really the things that he did on the ball. It's most definitely what he did off the ball. 4 demos there. Very destructive game coming in from Luke there. Doesn't really need the points to show that he's made a massive impact for this team here for Nexus. It doesn't look like DSQ are going to call the timeout in this game. They might want to leave it till if they're 1 game away from going down to the lower bracket, but you see the disparity in shots there. 7 shots compared to 4. Net DSQ forced to 3 saves. Nexus only forced to 1. Nexus have full control of this series, and that just seems like a problem.
Yeah, I mean, even with Luke putting up Milwaukee numbers, the side of Pulse managed to really position themselves well. They were effective in their rotations. The pressure was consistent all throughout that game. And I think as we come to Utopia Coliseum now, if we don't see a big dramatic shift from this Kanan side, then, I honestly wouldn't be shocked if, they lose this game, they call their timeout, and then the timeout not being effective, because they've settled now. Pulse are here to play. They know what they need to do. It's effective. It's working. As long as their communication remains on point, I can't see them really conceding too many goals, let alone losing.
Yeah, no, Nexus just seem like they have cruise control of this series so far. Compact is going to take control of this ball. Gets the flick over. 1 and 2! And starts off the scoring. Compact showing his mechanical prowess once again to give Nexus the lead.
Yeah, fantastic blitz. Beats Inflict, beats the keeper. And a 1-0 lead already to this Pulse side. 18 seconds in. Building on the momentum that they've made in games 2 and 3. It's going to be interesting to see how Canes can respond. Meantime, Crimson takes this one high, looks to find Compact. Off of the back wall, isn't able to find that secondary double tap touch. Meanwhile, Luke up early is going to be able to find Crimson as this one bounces off the back wall. Compact beaten. It leaves an open net for Kanan. Darren takes too long, isn't able to get the controlling touch down. And Pulse managed to get out of that somewhat of an open net unscathed.
Yeah, no, they get away with it. There should have been a 1-1 there. It should have been a tie game for DSQ, but Nexus still have this lead. But good pressure coming in from DSQ. They've really showed that they didn't really need the timeout to reset themselves and take this break. They now can build some more pressure now, but they need to be able to, because now Nexus are looking at Compact, who has full control and having fun in this game. But it's just going to be unsuccessful here coming in from this side of Nexus. Now, end-to-end games here, but it's still 1-0 Nexus.
You can almost sort of see the frustration coming through for this DSQ side. The double commit in the defense, the communication isn't on point. Luke decides to go for a little helicopter on the ceiling just to show that, Nexus is sky high right now. They're absolutely loving life. Beach balls all over the place. They're having a party. They're having a bubble. They're having the time of their lives right now. For me, DSQ, they just, as these games go on, as the clock ticks down, I just think the seriousness, the composure from this team is absolutely crumbled. They don't look like they're going to be scoring. Compact will an open net. Returns the favour to Jaren, unable to convert that one. Meanwhile, Jaren down the other end, gets it off of the back wall, 50s into the middle. Conflict, wrong tier. Inflict puts this one back into the middle. And again, no pressure from the DSQ side, not taking the chances when it's presented. And for me, Tina, that needs to change if they're going to be able to take this game or even another game in this series.
Yeah, they need 100% to have more confidence in their pressure and keep more convert and increase their conversion rate because they're making chances this game. It's definitely changed. And now it's time for DSQ to strike as Inflict takes a shot into the top corner. And now here we go. We have some conversion coming in from the side of DSQ and they just need to capitalize on this.
Inflicting damage into the defense of Nexus is Inflict himself. Godzilla versus King Kong. They're showing that they are the bigger titan. They're showing that they do have what it takes to come back from behind. 2:30 left on the clock. It's more than possible for them to find themselves back into this game, back into this series. And that's a fantastic point to start. They find a goal before the first half of this game's gone. Jaren's going to carry this one high. Looks to find Season in the middle. Just slightly turns away. No belief that that ball's coming to the middle. Inflict now on the back wall. Looks to try and clear this one. Nothing in the tank, so isn't able to influence the play as much as they would have liked. Inflict once again sends this one booming high. Compact not able to get a clear touch, but puts it to the corner to sort of relieve some of that pressure. Luke is going to drop this one back down the middle, but both players from Canaan's rotating back. Pops nicely into the middle. Season doesn't get the touch over, but is able to get touched down to the middle. And we're going to see Pulse once again attack forward.
Yeah, Pulse definitely being able to build some more pressure here as Jaren now is going to look for the shot. Unsuccessful here, but Compact is going to try to get it clear, but also unsuccessful. Luke now going to clear it off to Compact, looking for the redirect, but takes it to the corner instead. Luke now trying to look for some demolitions here in the midfield. And now Crimson is going to be able to try to go for the shot by his 50s. But end-to-end pressure here. But Nexus now, with all the pressure in the world, it's changed now, the momentum. And Nexus still have the lead.
Well, 1:10 left on the clock. This is where champions can be made. We've seen it so many times in the real world with Manchester United, with Liverpool. But today we have Nexus and DSQ. DSQ looking to cement a crown as they have done in many seasons prior. But when they find themselves down 2-1 and down in the series, this really will take a David versus Goliath bit of momentum. Luke now called off of the ball by Crimson, and what a fantastic call that is from the Pulse players. Finds the back of the net. Inflict slides across the goal, isn't really able to connect to that. Jaren does get a touch, but no boost in the tank. Isn't able to get any momentum behind that ball. And I think it's going to go to series point here for Pulse
That's
Nexus, Tino.
Yeah, even the fake kickoff was perfectly read by the side of Nexus. And it was a beautiful shot coming in from from Crimson here. It was a brilliant call off and brilliant communication. Demolition from Crimson now. Luke's going to get the booming clear off to the corner. But it's all control for Nexus in the series. You think that the timeout has to be called. Their upper bracket life is on the line here. And DSQ just don't have no sparks of life in the series anymore.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see the timeout called. I think as you get into these higher tiers, you very commonly don't see timeouts called, purely because the players don't even know that they've got a timeout. And then, even though they're told they have one, and a lot of the time the players just like, we'll just play. If we lose, we lose. And as I say that, Jaren calls the timeout. So they will have an extra 2 minutes once the new map loads up. 3 minutes, Tino, is a long time for players to talk between one another. They really do have a chance to sort of, rebuild brick by brick, so to speak, and how they approach this series. They're one away from finding themselves in the lower bracket. No one wants to start off, the Championship Saturday, Championship Sundays in that lower bracket because you'd have to play for 8 hours straight should, win, and that's a really, really long process. So they need to start off with these next 2 minutes after the 60 seconds post game. What would you like to see from them going into this game number 5?
I think going into game number 5, you need to have better communication when it comes to your pressure because there's a lot of double commits coming in from the side of DSQ. that should not be happening, especially when they're trying to build pressure. It needs to be one by one when building attacks, building pressure, and we're creating chances there. And if they're able to fix up that and then be able to try cancel off any pressure that Nexus are building, whether it's doing an early challenge or whether it's allowing them to give you the ball, it needs to be done. Because right now, your tournament life is on the line here. You need to get some more goals going. You need to create chances. But right now, it's just not seeming like it's happening.
Well, a good spell, of course, from this Nexus Pulse side. As I mentioned, Stingray, prolific at building teams that sort of shock and excel when they really need to. And it looks as if he's definitely done that again. I think this 2 minutes could, of course, be a momentum switcher, should they not get off to a hot start. But I think if we do see this Pulse side score first, then I think we're right back to square one. And I think they'll comfortably take this game number 5, unless DSQ completely change their playstyle altogether and just go all out offense, because sometimes that is the best defense.
Yeah, offense could most definitely be the best defense if you're preventing every last piece of offense from coming through. But the mechanics we're seeing here from Compact and Luke to also set up Crimson with beautiful shot opportunities and beautiful shooting coming in from Crimson, it's just seeming like that's not going to be a possibility here, because that pressure that this team is giving is absolutely relentless, and it just feels like nothing really is working for the side of Canaans. But that 2 minutes is about to run out here. We're about to get into Beckwith Park midnight here. Game number 5. The time is over for talking. It's time for execution. And now you need to show in these next 5 minutes of Rocket League that everything that you put into consideration is turned into execution as we enter game number 5.
Well, as you mentioned, it is definitely time for execution from this DSQ roster, should they want to, of course, make it through to that championship Saturday. Their upper playoff life is on trial here. And of course, Pulse Nexus are standing in the way as judge, jury, and executioner. They'll need to bypass them. They'll need to prove reasonable doubt on the pitch here that they are the better team and that they deserve to make it through. Crimson is up early, looks to try and guide this one towards goal. Does so, but no one from the Pulse roster there in the middle. And already we're seeing a lot more positive attitude from the side of DSQ. They're going to the ball. They're attacking it with some sort of ferocity. And that's exactly what you need from a team that's behind. They need to be the ones that dictate the pace. Falls into the middle here, but Jaren is able to get that one clear. Compact will send that back to the back line of the Pulse half. Season flicks it over one, met by Luke. A double commit as well from Pulse, but the call seemingly is made from their defense. And once again, we see Canaan's on the attack here, Tino.
No, I think it was a call off here. You saw Luke going down as soon as Crimson starts going off here. I think it's good communication coming in from Nexus, because there's been a lot of those types of team plays where someone gets called off the ball and there's shots opportunities happening from this team here. Compact trying to chain dash to get to this ball quicker than normal. Crimson now is going to try and get it into the middle. There's a bump from Compact, but it's just going to be lackluster offense here. And now DSQ needing to build some pressure. And now Season's going to try and get it into the middle, but no one trusted him from the side of DSQ to actually get that ball into the middle. He was out of boost. And it just seems like DSQ, that the pressure just isn't connecting with each other.
Well, Season is going to send this one to the side wall. Tries to get that flick towards goal. Doesn't quite work out, so Pulse are going to show them how it's done. And Crimson does find Compact and tries to send that ball back through, but intercepted once again from DSQ. Already 2 minutes gone here in game number 5, and DSQ looking a lot sharper, looking to put that dagger into the Pulse defense as it ricochets off of that crossbar. Crimson is going to carry this one, opts for the fake down low, doesn't quite work out, and once again Pulse in possession, but they're in possession of the ball in their half. A bit of miscommunication in the defense. Jaren finds the first goal, and as we almost hit the halfway mark, there is still life in this DSQ side.
Yeah, and almost definitely capitulation on defense coming in from the side of Nexus, and Jaren is able to capitalize on that chance, taking the lead for DSQ in this game number 5, and a must win for this team. And Jaren's taking that step. However, Compact's trying to cancel it out, doesn't do so. Lucy to get the shot, and it's wide open and ties up the game for Nexus.
And this is the difference between champions and runners-up. The instant reply from Nexus, a fantastic bump off of the ball, allows Luke the free, the wide, the open net that puts them back on equal terms. And with just over half the game gone, we now find ourselves in a stalemate. And it's only Nexus that have the ability to call checkmate.
Oh.
As this goes down the other end, it's not going to be in. It goes off of the back wall. Inflict is able to clear this one. Jaren is going to assume possession here. Goes off of the side wall, but it is once again instantly intercepted by the Nexus side. Compact does get the flick. No backup here from the side of Pulse in the immediate effect. Luke, almost a full tank here. Looks to carry this one down. Crimson already up. A good boost still there from Luke. Decides to rotate out. Steals the middle as well. Practically starving the Canaan's defense. Crimson in the middle. Crimson with a shot. Comes off of the back wall. Luke once again onto the back wall. And I have to say, Tino, this Pulse side, they're really starting to amp up the stakes here.
Yeah, no, this team is really amping up that pressure. They're really trying to end this series now here. As Compact's going to take that to the wall here, and Inflict's going to now try to build some pressure for DSQ. Their tournament life is still on the line! And Jaren's able to convert the chance once again and taking the lead back for DSQ.
Yeah, a great bump from Season off the ball there. Inflict able to get that one into the middle. Jaren will take those opportunities on a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, and even a Friday. But more importantly, if they can carry on with the pace that they've got, they'll be able to take it on a championship Saturday in the upper bracket. They find a third here with 1:14 left on the clock. They're starting to find some of that momentum, some of that prowess that we were talking about. If they take this into the next game, Tino, we could be going for a Champions Field.
Yeah, no, we can definitely see the summit being reached of this series by the way that it's going here. As Season now clears it off to Compact here, but he doesn't get a touch here. And DSQ now, they're flipping the script here and they're getting some more pressure going. They've doubled up this lead here. They have a safety net, and now they can just try to build more momentum going into game number 6 if they go on to win this game. Demolition now coming in from Compact. Crimson now has full control, but he doesn't have that high of a tank. Compact now is going to get into the middle. Luke's going to look for the shot. Compact takes it back, but Crimson's not going to be there for the shot and gets dunked on by Jaren, who's going to try to lead this offense once again. Now, Luke is going to try to take it to the far side, and he does, and he's going to try to get the pinch, which he does, get a very light pinch to try to keep some control, but it just looks like DSQ will take game number 5, and we will be going to a 6th game.
Well, Neo Tokyo beckons here, you know, a Warriors battleground, and Compact will need to reassemble the troops to make sure that they are ready for battle on Neo Tokyo, because DSQ, they're not going down without a fight. 2 seconds till this ball drops. DSQ are victors here in game number 5. And as Neo Tokyo beckons, the pressure shifted from DSQ onto Pulse. Can they sort of maintain the advantage they've got? Or can we go to a Champions Field where DSQ turns the tables?
Yeah, no, most definitely. Neo Tokyo is calling us, and we are going to get ready for game number 6. It doesn't look like a timeout will be called for this side of Nexus. They're the only ones with the timeout now, as DSQ have used their timeout successfully to get that game number 5. They built more pressure now. 6 shots even. 3 saves for DSQ compared to 2 for Nexus here. Nexus still with the chance to end this series right here, right now. But that was a great way to show some fight going into game number 6.
Well, as we head to Neo Tokyo, it's going to allow, you know, Pulse an opportunity to close this one out. That's the advantage of being 3-1 up in a series. You do have those double lives, so to speak, in closing it out. For me, though, I don't know if we're able to see Canaans keep the consistency. They dominated in game number 1, and then it slipped away in 2 and 3. Of course, a bite back in game number 4, but it's going to take real composure for them to take a second game in a row against this Pulse side. They've looked the better team for me across this series, and there have been slight sparks from DSQ. I think for me, if DSQ are going to take this game, they need to minimize the possession from Pulse.
Yeah, possession needs to be called off and needs to be minimized from DSQ here. If Pulse want to take the series, Inflix now is going to take more possession here. This ball gets a dunk on Compact, but it doesn't go through. Now, Sharon's going to try to take some control, gets it into the middle, but no one's there for him, as Compact's going to try to keep this ball off to the corner here. And once again, just this fast series that we were seeing, trying to get the infield pass, which he does. No one can get it clear from the side of DSQ, and Crimson will start the score off.
Well, it's an instant reply from Pulse after losing that game, number 5, and it's exactly what they needed. 4:28 on the clock here, and it's going to be down to DSQ. The pressure once again falls down to them. Season's going to try and carry this one down straight away, but Crimson is there in the defense, is able to clear this one enough to allow his Pulse teammates to come through. But Jared with a shot on goal, and it's a goal fest here already. 43 seconds in, 1 goal apiece. And if we keep getting content like this, Tino, take us to a game 7 already.
Yeah, no, absolute madness here as we start off game number 6 with a bang here. It's equal footing on both sides here. Crimson now gets the bump on the cheating man. Compact with a one-on-one on Inflict, and he doesn't get the connection through. Inflict now is going to be able to take control of this ball, but there's a 50-50 with Crimson here, which makes no sense because he does have sky blue as his colors. Now, Season is going to take control of this ball. Compact is going to take the 50 and chain dashes away from the play and takes control of this ball once again. He's going to stay up. It has minimal boost, gets the reset, but it's just going to go straight to Jaren for the 50 with Luke. Now, Crimson, full control of this ball here. Boosts up into the sky, sends it down. It's going to roll down here, looking for the bomb. He wasn't looking for the shot there, which I think he should have done. And now it looks like an end-to-end game for game number 6. Anyone's game, really.
Well, enough boost in the tank here for Compact to make a play. Unfortunately, isn't able to write up anything that can lead to success here for the Pulse roster as it falls back into their half. Jaren will send this one off the corner wall, but it's met lovely by Crimson, who assumes possession there. Leaves the play off for Compact, falls nicely into the middle. Inflict is going to be up first with the cut inside. Crimson will send that one onto the back wall and reassume possession once again in the middle. And these teams, none of them really making a play at the moment. A lot of loose possession. Both teams really trying to find their footing after that explosive minute that started off this game number 6. And I think there's perhaps a bit of nerves about both these teams. DSQ know that they have to win this to force a game 7. Pulse know that they have to win this to not allow a game 7. And Crimson, through the fire, through the flames and the ashes, is able to find that second goal for Pulse off of the crossbar. Jaren unfortunately taps that one in. And Pulse Nexus, as it stands, are on their way to the upper bracket for Championship Saturday.
Yeah, great goal coming in from Compact. Is a good finish, but that's unfortunate coming in from Jaren. He needs to reset the mental very quickly. Luke's going to try and bring some control, but Inflict's going to get a flick. Crimson gets a redirect off the half flip. And just on the brink of half-time, it's a tie game.
Yeah, a great bit of play there from Inflict to get that one clear. From one unfortunate event to another, we've had a series of them. As the chat calls that Crim peaked, I'm sure you wouldn't be looking at it that way. Season up high now, looking to try and carry that momentum of the second goal here from DSQ. But it's going to be shut down instantly from Compact. Inflict once again on the sidewall, looks to try and meet this ball, falls into the middle for Luke, sent up high by Season, no one there from Pulse, so it's going to allow DSQ a chance to get out, so they fall. Crimson shuts this one down. He's going to shut Neo Tokyo down at this point. He's wicked good, as his player tag suggests. He finds the third, and Pulse once again are in the lead.
Yeah, brilliant dunk coming in from Crimson to return the lead and recover from that mistake here. As now Luke is going to take control, but it's going to go right to Inflict, and Compact's going to get this clear. It's going to go right to Crimson, who's looking for the drop down pass off the ceiling, but it's going to be unsuccessful here. Jaren now going to take control, looking for that 50 here. He's going to muscle it through. He still has control of this ball, but look for the boost, and Crimson has it. Second touch coming in from Crimson. Inflict needs to make the save, which he does. Jaren should have control of this ball, and now DSQ need to build some pressure. Otherwise, it's just going to be Nexus. It's going to take the series and go through the upper bracket. Inflict has the open net, and it's 3-3.
Well, you could take the series lead. You could take the lead in game number 6. You can do it once. You can do it twice. You can even do it a third time. But this DSQ side will not back down. They are willing to give it all that they can. That timeout working wonders for them at the end of game number 4 as they look to try and take 2 games straight. Jaren, the leading man, is going to try and find Season in the middle. Opts to rotate out, knows that the play isn't there. Inflict sends this one high, looks for a play in the middle, fakes it low. No contact there from anyone else on the Canaan's roster. Crimson trying to be a nuisance in the defense. Goes for a bump on Jaren, finds one on Season. A shot on target here, and now Jaren's going to try and carry this one down the other end, Tino.
Yeah, control really trying to be seized here for the side of Cannons here, as Pulse really needing to find something here to try see off this series. They have all the momentum. They had all the momentum, but then they lost it. Redirect coming in from Crimson, but Inflict's going to have the save straight away. Season now with full control of this ball. Takes the edge of the ball, gets a dunk on Crimson, and there's still more pressure coming in from DSQ, but Luke can get it away and beats one to get some leeway. Now Jaren has a free ball, gets the booming clear straight to Crimson, who's going to pop it high. Now Inflict is going to be up here looking for the double, tries getting the skim, but it's going to be unsuccessful here. Double coming in from the Nexus, but Season muscles it through. 4-3 DSQ. It looks like we're seeing 7.
Well, a skim touch there in the middle from, of course, Caesar. Luke unfortunately puts that one back into the middle, and then the defense capitulates. A double commit from the remaining second and third man, and that gives DSQ the option that they need. A call out surely on the cards here for the Pulse roster. They need that timeout buff because of the way this one's going, Tino. We're heading to a game 7. That's right, folks. We're heading to a Champions Field unless Nexus can produce something spectacular. A shot towards goal. Compact gets this one on target, but it's not what they wanted, Tino.
Yeah, no, but it's not over yet! Oh, it's a brilliant save from Inflict! And we go to Champions Field. Canaans get the comeback, and we're going to game 7.
Well, I mean, if you look at those stats, Crimson and Inflict having an absolute game of the series. Both of them putting up really, really strong stats. Inflict there with, you know, if I have to put it in this way, a takeover performance, 729 points, 2 goals, 4 shots, 5 saves and 2 assists. What more could you ask from an MVP? Absolutely everywhere on the pitch. A bit of a slower game though on the side of Pulse for the likes of Luke. He's known for being solid in the middle of the pitch. He's known for those passing plays. Just the 1 assist here, no goals, and I think that Pulse side, they're going to be disappointed with how controlled they were earlier on in this series, Tino.
Yeah, no, they're gonna be annoyed from how this series was going. They had all the control in the world, but they haven't been able to see off this series. And now we see game 7. No timeout being called for Nexus. They don't care about the 2-minute break that they don't need. Clearly, that's what they believe. But will that come back to haunt them? Will we see some history? Who will be able to win this game? Ladies and gentlemen, your upper bracket match is going to game 7.
Well, this is it. To be or not to be. Inflict wins the kickoff here and starts the upper favour for DSQ. A shot from Luke Foss is going to be blocked out there nicely by Jaren, who does opt to pinch it down to the other end. So possession already given up by DSQ, but Season's going to try and push that one through and regain that straight away for DSQ. For me, Pulse, they need to step up here in this game number 7. They've been the poorest side of the 2. across the last 2 games. The performance has been spectacular, but the little things about giving away possession so much and allowing DSQ to play the game that they want to play needs to stop. They need to go back to applying the pressure, applying the aggressiveness, the demos as they want to.
Yeah, no, it needs to be done now here. Conversion needs to be at its highest in game number 7. There's no more lives for either team. One team has to win this series. It cannot be a draw. Now, Inflict with the shot here. Good save from Compact here. Luke can't get the clear. Good save from Season after Compact. Now, Luke now can try to start building a counter attack, but he doesn't have boost. And Jaren's going to get it cleared into the midfield once again, but Crimson's going to have the touch. Season can't get it. Luke can't get it either. Jaren gets the save. Compact to the backboard. Who's going to have the follow-up? Nobody, because Luke can't get it in time. It's still 0-0. I can't believe nobody scored.
Plenty of shots onto the back wall here from the side of Nexus, but none of them being able to convert where they matter most. And maybe, just maybe, as this one progresses, they may regret not taking those chances. Jaren's going to look to try and clear this one, but Compact instantly on the ball again. Looks for the pass into the middle. A little bit too much strength on that one, so it's going to allow Jaren here a chance once again to get that clear. But back to the point I was talking about earlier, possession. Given up too easily, allowing the other team to resume their attack. Inflict is in the middle though, does try to dispossess this one. Crimson sends this one high. Jaren sends it onto the back wall, gets a call from Season. They're there, ready and waiting. And now DSQ have a chance to find that first goal.
Yeah, no end-to-end action here coming in from Game 7 as half-time is almost looming. Still no goals being scored on either side. Luke's going to take it to the side here. You can't be keeping that in the midfield in such a dangerous area. Now, Crimson is going to be able to take control of this ball. Has a mid-tank, however. Beats one. Can he get past the second? No, he can't with the 50-50 there. Now, Inflicts now with control, but he gets a 50 with Luke. Compacts now. He misses the ball here. Someone needs to get that clear. Crimson does in time. Inflicts almost had the shot opportunity because of Compact's error, but he's gotten away with it. Compact now has control, but doesn't get full control here. Mistakes coming in from Compact here in this game number 7, who's been the most solid player. Bomb coming in on the back lines. Inflict takes the first goal and DSQ have control.
Yeah, a bit of messy play there from Compact that allows Luke to be awkward in the middle, beaten by the ball, and then a fantastic bump in the middle. Just sees that one roll in as pleasantly as DSQ could ever imagine. And with just 2:11 left on the clock, DSQ can afford to put a foot up should they wish. They're in the lead here. They now just need to dictate the pace, run the clock down, because they are the victors as it stands. They were down, Tino, in this series 3-1, but they have shown the fight of champions as they are looking to take 3 games straight and send Pulse down to the lower bracket.
Yeah, no, most definitely. But a double save coming in from Luke here. Big moment here defensively. Could that be a turning point? Season now is going to try to get back, but he gets demolition by Compact. Jaren now with the ceiling pinch attempted, but Compact's there once again. Inflicts now is going to try to go for the pinch, which he does. Compact is going to be there. Luke's also going to be there. He called off Compact there from going for that ball. And now Season's a Compact looking for that 50. Crimson now and Jaren going for the 50. Jaren's missed. Crimson gets the touch, but Inflict's going to have full control, but gets bumped. Jaren and Luke going for the 50-50 once again now, but Luke's gonna get more control. Season now with the shot, it's going in! It rolls in on the left right side post, and DSQ have doubled the lead in game 7.
I sat here with confidence and said the team that takes game number 3 would go on to win this series, and I couldn't be more wrong. DSQ with resilience have climbed a mountain to be where they are right now. They were down and out in game number 6. They looked like they weren't going to be going anywhere. It looked as if it was Pulse's slot to ensure that upper bracket run was a viable option, but Canaan's had another answer. They took 5, they took 6, and now 7 is well on the cards for them to do. Pulse will be distraught if they're unable to find a way to convert this game. And from what we've seen, Tino, I think it's fair to say DSQ, the franchise management, the players, they're all going to be delighted because it looks as if they're going to Championship Saturday in the upper bracket.
Yeah, Nexus just look dilapidated in this game. Number 7 here. They can't get anything to go through. Compact tries getting into the middle, but it's going to go right to Jaren. Time is ticking down. The DSQ look like the better team in Game 7. Have executed their plan to perfection. Have executed the comeback to perfection here. And time ticks down. They need a goal in regulation, which they can't. DSQ will take down Nexus in 7 games and move on to Championship Saturday in the upper bracket, with Nexus Pulse having to go against that Ember team who's been moving such on form in that lower bracket. I'm excited to see what happens there.
Well, you couldn't ask for a better series to end the evening. And if we look at the series stats, 15 goals on the side of DSQ, 17 on the side of Nexus. So both of these teams about even Stevens in terms of their performance. But of course, DSQ turned up when it mattered most. More field domination from the side of Nexus. But again, stats don't always necessarily say everything. The only stat that matters is the result. And I think that's fair to say. Jaren MVP here for the side of DSQ. A fantastic performance, Tino. 7 goals from 11 shots. What more could you ask for?
Yeah, no, great series coming in from Jaren. 14 demos and 12 saves is something that I really want to highlight here. He was all around the pitch, scoring, assisting, creating 2,400 points in the series after 7 games. It was just a brilliant performance coming in from DSQ and specifically Jaren there. And now, going into Saturday for the Challenger tier, he's going to be one of those players that you're going to have to not underestimate whatsoever, because he is one of those players that can really change a series, a game, or just their tournament lives. As we check through the bracket after an action-packed Tuesday today, with teams losing, with teams winning there in numerous fashions there. We started off the day with Brave sweeping out Psycho out of the tournament there, and then we saw Fujiyoshi and Ember fighting off in a duked out series there. But Fujiyoshi were dumped out of the tournament once again by Ember, who took that series 4-1.